fingers all connected and I'm living a la carte. Caught a spark, little light, caught fire like a lighter in the hands of an arsonist. I've been on call for this, how I get comfortable. Not doing my thing, yo, that's perpetual awkwardness. Shut myself down for you even got a chance to. Yeah, but I've been listening to chance who show me that I could be dope, real, raw, independent. Shut it down if I ever get a chance to. Let me be great. I'm just over here growing, just making music.
Sweet music is forever.
It's a love song.
Music, sweet music is forever.
And it goes like this. I know I told you before, I never leave this. You and me together, better believe this. You and me forever, they never seen such beauty. You want my love, I mean truly. You decided to choose me. From everyone on this earth, you determine my worth. See what I mean is, whoever I was, you would add to. You were glad to increase my value. I knew I was fly too, cause I had you. I wasn't the cutest girl, but yo, I bagged you. That's why I keep you close and never let up. They don't understand the picture that we developed. Can't see life without you. So every little chance that I get, I'ma write about you. And I don't care what they say. They never love nothing in this way. And so I tell them today that my music,
Sweet music is forever.
it's a love song.
Music
Feels good, right?
is forever.
And it goes like this. It sure feels good to know you. No matter what I give, feels like I will always owe you. Forever indebted, I never let it slip by. For the rest of my life, never forget it. You brought me out of the dark when I couldn't see light. You remind me of my truth that I am the one that the light flows through. And my source, of course, is you. Yeah, that's why I'ma show you the world. I love how you make me feel like I'm your favorite girl.
Hey, yo, good morning. What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. I keep saying good morning, and I keep forgetting people are, watching this show all over the world, man. But welcome to the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Yeah. Yo, I'm telling you, man, we have taken our game to the next level here on the Doug Stewart Show, man. If you are new to the Doug Stewart Show, you are in for a treat because this is the realest, treeless sports and guy talk show in America. That's right. We got our own studio audience and everything. Yeah. Hey, so welcome to the show, man. We do this show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time on the audio platform on the DougStewartShow.com. But on Fridays, man, we freak it a little bit. All right. So we got Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. And so cats are watching the show all over the world. And we do have a packed show for you. Once again, as I said earlier, today is a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. So we got the freaky, we got the football, and we do have the funny. We got a couple of great guests lined up for you today. As a side to talking about all the sports, the entertaining sports stories that are out there. We also have an entertainment report in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. But we got a couple of great guests, man. The Atlanta Falcons, if you're new to the show was based in Metro Atlanta, okay? And so every once in a while, we talk Falcon stuff, Atlanta Hawks, Braves, and all of that. So today we're going to talk to Sports Radio 92.1, The Games, in Michigan's Rico Beard to talk a little bit of Falcons and Detroit Lions. So the Lions are off to a 2-0 start, which is one of the most incredible things in the world because the Lions usually, historically, traditionally are a shitty team, but they aren't this year so far. So the Falcons take on the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk to my man Rico Beard in Michigan about the Detroit Lions and about this big game coming up this weekend. We're also going to talk to, and I'm very excited about this, music artist Dynasty is going to join us today on the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. So if you heard us coming into the show, this is Dynasty in the background. Very established artist, has worked with a ton of legendary performers. And so she's going to join us live on the Doug Stewart Show today, man. Actually, here's the cool thing about this. This is what we're doing. We're giving you more of what you asked for. If you listen to Dynasty and you listen to the interview that we have with Dynasty today, you're actually going to be able to get a signed copy of her new release, her new album. And I did say album, all right? Wax. That's right. She's putting her music out on Wax. She's got that old school type of feel to her, hip hop artistry or whatever she does. And so it's going to be real cool. You actually can go to her website, which is yourgirldy.com. That's DYAGIRLDY.com. Purchase her album. If you mention that Doug Stewart Show is where you heard about her at, then she'll actually sign the copy of her album for you personally. All right. So that's coming up later today as well. And then we're going to finish up with the funny on this Funny Friday. My man, 100 grand, Lavluv comedian, is going to join us on the Doug Stewart Show. Very accomplished comedian. Yeah. Very, very accomplished comedian. Lavluv is going to join us on the show. We used to talk to Lav all the time back in the day on the 2 Live Stews. And real accomplished comedian, man. And big time, traveling all over the country, all over the world, really. And so the funny part on this Friday is coming up at the end of the show. We're going to talk to comedian Lavluv right here on the Doug Stewart Show. We'll also get to all of the little sports stories, man. A couple of things I want to touch upon. Get off my lawn, punk-ass kids. It's the name of today's episode. Right. Now, if you listen to the show daily, you know that, I kind of got an old school nostalgic feel about the way I view a lot of life, man. And I don't like these punk-ass little kids. These millennials. All right. And so a couple of different instances, man, we're going to talk about the millennials and how they're different today. One in particular, the big story of this week, Kevin Durant. If you haven't heard about that, stay tuned. I'm going to kind of recap that a little bit. That was kind of the biggest talking point this week on the show. Also, Charles Barkley has something to say about NBA players and these young little punk-ass kids once again. Right. Right. So that's kind of like the Get Off My Lawn segment of today's show. We'll also talk about a legendary, phenomenal fighter calling it a career, and as well as we'll get you ready for the weekend in college football and in the NFL. All right, so we'll kind of preview the 4 biggest games from college football and the 4 biggest games from the NFL. Also on Friday, man, we give out boiled peanuts. You might say to yourself, what the hell is boiled peanuts? You might not be from the country. You don't know what the hell boiled peanuts are. First of all, boiled peanuts are a delicacy in the South. Right. They are a delicacy. And we also give people that are the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond that award. We actually have a voting system set up on the Doug Stewart Show and the 2 Live Stews Facebook chat group where you can actually go and vote. But your nominees, we got nominees all week. Your nominees for this week's Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond are Kevin Durant. I'll get down and that story a little bit more here in a second and tell you why to the last compound he got nominated for a Buster of the Week award. Albert Hainsworth allegedly got beat up by his wife and called the N-word. Racial epithets out this Mickey Ficky. Right. So Albert Hainsworth, he's in a sunken place. We'll talk about him. He's on the nominee list for the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. And also fight judge Adelaide Byrd, who was the judge that called the Canelo Triple G fight 118 to 110. She's been nominated for boiled peanuts. Yeah. As well as LA football fans. If you didn't know, if you hadn't been paying attention and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show and watching the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube and Facebook Live, if you didn't know, the LA Rams and the now LA Chargers back in the city of LA hosted fans of about, 50, 60, 70 fans at a football game. Right. Bad look out there in LA as far as football, man, a professional football team. So they've been nominated. So there you have it. Kevin Durant, Albert Hainsworth, the fight judge, Adelaide Byrd, and LA football fans are your nominees. We will give out that award / Buster Award a little bit later in today's show. So a ton to get to today on the Doug Stewart Show. You can actually call live. That's right, live at 404-822-5467. That's 404-822-5467. That is the number to the show. You can also email me at at thedougstewartshow.com. So hour number 2, a little entertainment segment. All right. So we'll talk about some celebrity birthdays as well as an entertainment story or 2. And then hour 3, we call it the Power Hour, where we really get into the chat rooms on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and see what y'all got to say. This is the most interactive sports and guy talk show in America. All right. So we do that all throughout the show. All right. So a lot of fun to come. Stay tuned. Listen, you can contribute to the show. If you like what you see and you want to see more, but even bigger and better, throw your boy a bone, all right? You'll see a graphic posted on the show throughout today's episode where it'll tell you exactly how to donate to the Doug Stewart Show, man, and contribute to the show and make it the biggest and the best sports and guy talk show in America. All right. Back from the break, we're going to talk about the biggest story this week. Kevin Durant is a little girl. He's a girl. Shame on Kevin Durant. We'll talk about it up next. 3 minutes. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir.
Forever indebted. I never let it slip by for the rest of my.
No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
In walks the girl with her hair all woolly. Flow on, swole, the unexpected bully. I am not what you thought. Body suckers for sport and slaughter the ones I caught. Recorded and then report, yeah. I'm a star, but I rock my day-to-day, yeah. Just so you don't fear me when you see me trying to play fair. My abilities are my greatest advantage. On my worst days, delivery is very hard to manage. At your best, you don't even come close. Who are you? I don't even got the energy to argue. I'm tired of hearing whack bars like those. Please know, you dealing with a star and life's closed. So I don't rock for free, so stop it. Pull out your wallet, this is not a non-profit. Started out in Jackie Robinson Elementary. Now I'm rocking with legends, this is real black history.
No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
It can take up to a minute till you get it. Before you realize that I'm really here to win it. They say I smile a lot for a minute. You're an afterthought, I'm the premise. I'm real, you're an image. This is only the beginning and I'm connecting with legends. Truth is, I'd rather be a genuine peasant than to be a rich fraud. So I spit and rip bars. Primo told me I'm a spit queen, spit hard. Get used to it cause we only plan to. Keep pushing forward, you know I understand you. They say I can't rip it like a man do. Can't handle what I'm about to hand you. We are on the next level, living out our dreams. Based in reality, you busy trying to scheme. Don't know if I'ma make it, but you want me on your team. Cause you notice how I turn all of my haters in the feet.
No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. No high rock. I'm hip hop.
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
Artists like you all in the same gang. Now how we ride open, but I'm all in the same lane.
Hey, yo, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Tell me my girl Dynasty ain't a beast on that mic. Yeah. So I see some people in the chat room already commenting. And I think somebody summed it up perfectly. She's a combination of, if you old school, you can't be a greenhorn and catch these references right now. I think my girl Dynasty is kind of like a combination of Rod Digger. Somebody said this in the chat room, and I don't know exactly who it was. I should have gave you more creative credit. But somebody in the chat room says she got a little flow like Rod Digger. Remember Rod Digger from back in the day, as well as Lauryn Hill. And I mean, that's an incredible compliment because, pound for pound, if you're talking about talent, even though she didn't do a lot of rapping, man, Lauryn Hill was a beast behind the microphone. Seriously. So shouts out to Dynasty. Can't wait to have her on. Hey, special shouts out to a couple of cats that have already contributed to the show, man. Shouts out to Ced Galloway, who's a listener every day, man, and supports the Doug Stewart Show and the Two Live Shoes Radio Network, as well as C&W Photography, man. Thank you so much for helping your boys and your show stay on and we can keep the damn lights on. Is that serious? No, seriously. Studio audience laughing. They clowning, but it's that serious, man. Thank you so much for the donations, man. You'll see the graphic and just donate us through PayPal. It's safe and secure. And so thank you very much so we can continue to do what we do around here. So if you're new to the show, the kind of a little bit of the talk that we have at the beginning of the show on Friday is kind of a recap over the past week in some instances. If you listen to the show every day, if you're a subscriber to the Doug Stewart Show on the DougStewartShow.com, some of these stories we talk about ad nauseum. So it's kind of like a recap of the week. And the biggest story of the week was Kevin Durant is a little gal. I'll tell you what I mean when I say that, man. Kevin Durant was challenged by a fan over the weekend about his decision to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder for Golden State. Y'all all know that story, what happened with that. Using the third person, Durant replied he didn't like the organization of playing for Billy Donovan. His roster wasn't that good. It was just him and Russ. Now, let me stop and back up for a second if people don't understand the story. And me and my brother talked about this yesterday ad nauseum. What Kevin Durant did is he created another Twitter account. And all this is going down on Twitter. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. All of this is going down on Twitter. What he did is created another Twitter account. Okay, he created another Twitter account speaking, kind of from the third person perspective of maybe a fan or somebody that likes Kevin Durant and defending Kevin Durant. What this ninja did, yeah, it gets worse. What this ninja did is forgot to log out of his personal account, but on that same personal account, was talking in a third person matter, like another person. And so he got caught. He got caught, dog. Yeah, he was acting like some fictitious person or whatever defending Kevin Durant. Right. You heard exactly what I said. This man who signed, I think, a $250 million contract, man, has made all of this money, has just won a championship this year, man. Thought that it was necessary to defend himself in a sea of tweets. Now, imagine how many people follow Kevin Durant. Imagine how many people comment on Kevin Durant about what happened to him leaving Oklahoma City and going to Golden State. You would have to think thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people give their opinion, and that's all it is, their opinion about Kevin Durant and him leaving Oklahoma City Thunder and going to Golden State, right? You would think it would be thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So really, Kevin Durant creating this account to kind of bump for himself in an abstract, crazy type way, really probably is just like a shot in the dark anyway. No one's paying attention. The point of this is Kevin Durant has always been questioned about his manhood, about his masculinity. Now listen. You remember he was called Cupcake, and the name actually stuck, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. He was actually called Cupcake, and the name kind of stuck, and people still, jab him with that term being a cupcake. He actually came out with some sneakers this past couple of weeks called the Cupcake sneakers or whatever, with these different varieties or whatever, I guess red velvet and pecan pie and all of that. And it backfired in his face. And the man is super, super sensitive. Now listen, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I get it. I totally get it. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong in going to Golden State and winning a championship. At the end of the day, he won. He won a ring. He's made all this money, and I mean a ton of money, gobs and gobs of money, man. But to be this sensitive is unbelievable to me. For a grown-ass man, now Kevin Durant ain't 15 years old. He's on the upper echelon. He's on the upper tier of the millennial spectrum in relative terms. Kevin Durant is so sensitive to the point where he felt like he needed to defend himself because he's getting so much heat on social media and got caught doing it. That's a bad look. Now, there's these man laws that I always talk about. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. In Section 5, Paragraph 3, I believe, off the top of my head, Section 5, Paragraph 3, Verse 2, there's a man law that says that you shall not create a side Twitter account to defend yourself on social media. Never, ever, ever. If you do, you lose your man card forever. Forever. And that's what's happened to Kevin Durant. And I mean, I clowned him. Listen, I clowned Kevin Durant when he went from Golden State or from Oklahoma City to Golden State. I'm one of those guys. I'm old school. Once again, get off my lawn, you punk ass kids. I'm one of those guys, man, that didn't take too kindly to Durant going to Golden State and playing with other superstars. I know a lot of y'all like, man, shut up, man. You just a hater or whatever. And that's a term that they throw around in 2017 to make you back off your point. That shit don't work with me. I was also the guy that didn't like LeBron James leaving Cleveland to go play in Miami with Dwayne Wade and winning a ring down there, a couple of rings down there. So I'm that dude. But I never even paid Kevin Durant for this type of sensitive. Never. It's a horrible look. Not only that, but in the tweets, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, in the tweets, he actually threw his coach in Oklahoma City, Billy Donovan. He actually threw him under the bus. He also threw his teammates under the bus, except for Russell Westbrook, but he threw the whole organization under the bus. And so I don't know how his teammates or how players in the NBA look at him going forward. You got to remember, he's still in the Western Conference. So when they have the All-Star game, he's going to see Russell Westbrook in the locker room. He may see a couple of those guys from that Oklahoma City team as well. He may see other guys in the league or have company with other guys in the league that just don't look too frownly about somebody doing something such in such a way. I mean, it's really a snake move when you think about it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's no big deal. This too shall pass. But we actually had this little poll this week on the Doug Stewart Show, the lamest things guys have ever done in sports and entertainment and beyond. And so listed on this list was Kobe Bryant telling the police on Shaq, which, by the way, I mean, I don't think that was that big of a deal at that time. Yeah. And I am a Laker fan, okay? I am a Laker fan. I can admit to that. So we had things like that. We also had the situation with D'Angelo Russell last year, videotaping Swaggy P. Nick Johnson talking about he cuts out on his old lady. And eventually it led to the demise, the breakup of him and Iggy Azalea. And so these young guys today, man, they own a different type thing, which I don't get. Listen, somebody said it on the show this week, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Ever since Ralph Tresvant came out with Sensitivity, right. Ever since Ralph Tresvant, trying to break away from New Edition and do his own thing, ever since he came out with that Sensitivity song, men have become a lot more sensitive. And it's been more acceptable to be sensitive. I didn't grow up like that. Period. I'm sorry. Get your punk ass off my lawn. I didn't grow up like that. If I gave any feeling of sensitivity of Ralph Tresvant around my old man, he slapped the shit out of me. Right. Yeah. Me and my brother. So this is a bad look. This is a bad look for Kevin Durant. And it kind of goes with the theme of today's show. When you're talking about these kids that are getting off my lawn, I am that guy. Charles Barkley, man, actually had something kind of in the same neighborhood to say about Durant and the status and the state, I guess, of the NBA player today. And so when we get back from the break, I'm going to touch upon that. And also when we get back from the break, this is what I'm going to do when I get back from the break. I'm going to jump in the chat room. on the DougStewartShow.com or the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube, the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live, all those different platforms, man, and read your messages and your thoughts about anything that we've already talked about today, whether that's the Ball Penis Award and the nominees, which, by the way, are Kevin Durant, Albert Hainsworth, the fight judge, Adelaide Bird, as well as LA football fans. All right, so if you want to talk about that, if you want to talk about what I'm talking about, if you want to say, Doug, shut up, why you so hard on these young boys? I mean, that's fine. I can take it. Unlike Kevin Durant, I can take it. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Me and my brother talked about this yesterday. If I don't know, Kevin Durant's probably got $200 million in the bank, or he's got a guaranteed $200 million liquid. If I had $200 million, I don't give a damn what you think or say about me. I don't give a damn or think about what you say to me right now, and I'm broke as hell. Right. With $250 million in my bank account, I'd be a terror. They wouldn't be able to do nothing with me. And this jive turkey all on Facebook and Twitter trying to defend himself with a ghost account. Ninja, please. Hey, we're going to take a quick little break. Back in 3 minutes. Don't go away. Yes, sir. The Doug Stewart Show.
Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yeah.
Yo, it seemed like every time I turn around, somebody else gone. Here today, but I don't know for how long. That's why I put my everything in all of these songs. There's no separation, my word is my bond. Cause I know that tomorrow never promised. Stay honest like I know I'm the truth. Make them respect the God and stay true to who I am. Walk a fine line. So not even think about what I'll be putting on my timeline. What's the message that you send? Check your legacy. I think about how I want people to remember me. Would you still stand up and take a stand, even knowing what they did to Miss Bland? Rest in power to the queen. Time's hard, this life is obscene. Protect your being from the ones who scheme. So we live out loud and we dare to dream while we here in the physical, even though they missing you. One day, yeah. One day, one day. Somebody saying I was almost famous, cause a lot of people know me, yet I got a dope joint from Apollo, that's the homie, and I take care of those who are close to me. Rock crowds, rip mics, how it's supposed to be, that's how they say it, right? Had some different cards, but I played them right. Dealing with the hand that I was dealt, never felt I was at a disadvantage. Self-managed, but I got a dope team, so I'm indie, but I'm moving like a major. Like, I give it all of me today while I'm still here. I'm giving y'all this good music while I still care, cause it's a labor of love to keep going, with so many acting like they committed to not growing. But one day it'll turn around, I believe that. Appetite back for the truth, I can see that. I'm over here roaming where they free at. Before my time's up, when you ready, son, you know where we be at. One day, yeah.
Yo, welcome back to the show.
And it goes like this. I never told you before, I never leave this. You and me together,
Yeah.
never believe this.
This is that real hip hop. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, sports talk, guy talk with hot sauce. Oh man, I can't wait to talk to Dynasty, man. So we've been playing her music for a while, but she actually gave us authorization to play all of her tracks today on the show. So I'm telling you, man, when we talk to her, We're going to actually flash up on the screen a way that you can go and actually get her album. I can tell you right now, as a matter of fact, just go to YAGIRLDY.com and purchase her album. This is wax. This is old school. Me and Rob, the captain at the mothership in D.C., we're talking about our ages, and we're both 48 years of age. And so when we were little boys, I mean, it was wax. It was albums. And I think the big one, the complete album, was a 33, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody in the chat room can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's right. And the little small one, the singles, were 45s. And so she's kind of got that nostalgic type feel to her music. You hear old school hip hop. And you can actually buy an album. I don't know if you can play it because your ass probably don't got no record player. I don't. But it's kind of like a collector's item. And so when she blows up, which you hear the skill, you can tell and believe like me that she's probably going to blow up very soon. That's one thing I'm going to ask her. And she's actually going to autograph it for you. That's one thing I'm going to ask her. Like, how does she feel about these mumble rappers today getting all this radio play? I'm going to ask her that. I am going to ask her that. Like, she has to feel some type of way every time she turns on the radio, specifically, she hears Cardi B every 15, 20 minutes. I mean, she has to feel some type of way about that. And so we're going to talk to the great Dynasty a little bit later today on the show, here on the Doug Stewart Show, all right? All right, so let me read a couple of these messages in the chat on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From a man, Kenny C. He says, Doug is the same ninja who gets sensitive when the Stewies call him out for going to see a man about a horse. I guess this is one of the Kevin Durant apologists. Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about. My man KK 3000 says real hip hop. That's right. A lot of people saying good morning in the chat room on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. From Hakeem DeQuervo, he says Migos said they create the triple rap style ninja. The triple rap style. What the hell is the triple rap style? Now listen, Migos are from Georgia. They're not actually from Atlanta, but I think they kind of call Georgia or Atlanta home now. But Migos are actually from Athens. So I always try to show a little bit more love to the Futures of the world and for the Migos of the world, the 2 Chainz that all originate here in Atlanta. But none of them can hold a stick to Dynasty. None of them. You just heard some of her tracks over the first, 30, 45 minutes of the show. And she that old school hip hop, man, which I really hate. I could talk about this all day long, man, about the state of music that you hear on radio. Now, listen, I understand it's not, these kids' fault that record labels and, radio stations play this crap rap. I get it. And I'm happy for them. They making their money. That don't mean I got to like it. That don't mean that I can't give credit where credit's to do with real artists. I heard this cat the other day, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I actually posted it on my Facebook page and on my the Two Live Stews Facebook group. I heard this cat called Fred the Godson. Have you ever heard Fred the Godson? What? Yeah. See, if you didn't know, I am a hip-hop enthusiast, old school hip-hop, all right? And so I love lyricists. I love talent. The beats are cool, but I love, and thank you for hitting the like button, man, on the YouTube and on the Facebook. I love talent, okay? And when you hear this cat, and I posted it on my page and in the group, the Two Live Stews group, you hear this cat, Fred the Godson, man, just incredible, old school, incredible lyricist. He was actually in studio with Funkmaster Flex in New York and just went off, freestyle, which is a lost art because of, the way these kids do things today. There's another cat that I saw a couple of months ago called My Son. Oh, just another dude, just incredible skills, man. So there's these great artists out there, but for whatever reason, whatever conspiracy there is by these record labels, man, and these radio stations to play the bottom of the barrel crap, man, is prevalent. It is. There's just no denying it. Because we do have a ton of great artists out there, man. Kendrick Lamar, obviously, J. Cole, some of the bigger names, cats with real lyrics, you know. And then you got cats like My Son and Fred the Godson, like I talked about. You got artists out there, but they're just not getting the radio play. Like getting all of the radio play is Lil Yachty and Cardi B. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Miss me with that. And so that's what you hear now when you get in the car. They play that damn Cardi B more times than they played T-Pain back when he was hot. Like Cardi B, literally, if I take a 30-minute ride, you listen to the Doug Stewart Show. If I take a 30-minute ride in my car, I am guaranteed to hear that Cardi B song, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay, I'm slightly embellishing, but not by much. All right, not by much. And so it is what it is, and I'm disgruntled, and I'm get off my lawn guy, and it is what it is. That's just who I am, and I'm happy with who I am. I actually like me. I actually love me. Shit. I actually love me. I actually love me. To quote the great Ric Flair, who by the way, is back in pretty good health, and I'm going to talk about him in the entertainment segment of today's show a little bit later. Shouts out to the great Ric Flair. The great Ric Flair used to say it back in the day. Tony Schiavone used to say, Rick, do you hear them? They're booing you. They hate you, Ric Flair. They hate you. Tony Schiavone, I don't care if they love me or hate me because I love myself. I love myself. I love myself, unlike Kevin Durant. Unlike all of these people that hate on people that hate quasi on young people. I love myself, man. So that's where we are in the world of hip-hop. So I'm excited to hear which has been compared to the great Rod Digger from back in the day, whose career was short-lived, even though she was Phi. And I did say Phi. That's Georgia for fire. The great Rod Digger, Lauryn Hill, just real talent. Like the spit those metaphors that this kid I was telling you about, Fred the Godson, spit on this little video that I had posted online, man, is real talent. You know, not a lot of this crap you hear in the industry today. From Sidney Jackson, Doug will butcher a name in a heartbeat. That's what I do. I'm sorry. From Calbrin J, do you think Cardi B going to be a one-hit wonder? She's not even going to be a one-hit wonder. She's going to be a half-a-hit wonder. That's an understatement. That's an understatement. From Warren, Knicks fan, he says, Doug, you won't hear that Cardi B song if you put the channel on grown folks music. I listen to grown folks music, and I guess what he's talking about is like R&B, old school hip hop. I do, for the most part, listen to old school hip hop. We got like 3 radio stations here in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, that play nothing but old school hip hop, like Boom FM, OG. There's another one called OG, and there's another one as well. So, but every once in a while, I turn on to one of the big FM stations here in Atlanta, and when I do, then it's just inundated with Cardi B and Lil Yachty or whatever his name is. And so, I mean, it is what it is. From Harold Archer, check out that young fella from North Carolina, Nick Grant, somebody trying to promote their cousin. I don't blame you, though, bro. I don't blame you. I would promote my cousin, too. Let's see what else we have in the chat here. From Leonard D, Siobhan's podcast is pretty good. They talk about different podcasts. Kesey, my man Kesey says in the chat room, what up, Kesey? Good morning, brother. He says Schiavone. Oh, he's talking about Tony Schiavone is now a broadcaster on 92.9 for the Gwinnett Braves. He stopped or stepped away from wrestling for a long time, but now has a show with Bo on Wednesdays about wrestling. Shouts out to the great Tony Schiavone. Yes, sir. Shouts out to the great Tony Schiavone. When wrestling was wrestling. All right. Speaking of Tony Schiavone, once again, in the entertainment segment in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, we're going to talk about the Nature Boy Ric Flair, man. You know he had a little bout with his health a while back. And when you find out what Ric Flair did on a daily, it's amazing he ain't been dead. And I did say been dead. Right. So we'll talk about that now with number 2. When we get back from the break, though, man, Charles Barkley continues with this theme on Get Off My Lawn, You Punk-Ass Little Kids. Yeah. So we'll talk about it up next, as well as we still got NFL and college football. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Yes. We're going to talk some college football and in a down mood today because my South Carolina State Bulldogs got embarrassed on national TV. But we will talk about the 4 biggest games in college football this weekend and 4 biggest games in the NFL this weekend. 3 minutes. We'll be back. Don't go away. Stay your ass right there.
I'm Stevie J, too fly to be a backpacker. Frisbee.
Introduce you to this pretty brown, long legs. Have you seen her? Dudes wanna smash and bras wanna be her. I know it sound rude, it's true when you see her. You see what I mean? She a born leader, number 1 on the scene, that's real. Queen biz, don't care what none of y'all feel. Living her life till she get her fill. Dipping off in the light, the rest stay still. They said she made it look easy. Carry trowels on her back like wings, keep the atmosphere breezy. None of these frauds could rock with D-Weezy. Can't leave rap alone, the game needs me, B. Trying to get free, cause everything you see ain't always what it seems. You dealing with a queen who know a few things, so hands to the sky if you rocking with me, come on and just be. Yeah.
I really wanna be. Yeah. Say I just wanna be. Just be. I just wanna be. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Yeah.
They said she made broken look beautiful. Said the things of the world didn't do to her what they might do to you. Yeah, she walks with her head held high and her feet to the ground, no nose to the sky. A rebel, and even though she on another level, her presence will settle you. Spirit incredible, to pass her by is regrettable. She make everybody else so forgettable. Get your ones up. Rock with the one who can bring your sons up. Build up your daughters and fill their cups up. Everything else is irrelevant. Son, stop settling, get your funds up and be trying to get free. Cause everything you see ain't always what it seems. You dealing with a queen who know a few things. So hands to the sky if you rockin' with me. Come on and just be.
I really wanna be. Yeah. Say I just wanna be. Just be. I just wanna be. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Said if you really wanna be, say yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome to Sports Island. Hey, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday, man. We got a bunch of great guests lined up for you. I've been talking about Dynasty all day, music artist Dynasty, that you hear playing right now in the background. Shouts out to her for authorizing us to use her music. Phenomenal talent. We're also going to talk to Sports Radio 92.1 in Michigan's Rico Beard. He's coming up here in about 30 minutes, so stay tuned for that. And then at the end of today's show, we've got comedian Lavluv that's going to grace us with his art, with his comedy. I mean, I really need y'all to pray for your boy. So yesterday in doing the show, man, for some reason, like I lost my voice within 30 minutes. And my voice kind of cracked about 20 seconds ago. So we're going to pray that everything's okay. So last night, your boy was up drinking hot tea and lemon and lozenges and gargling salt water and all of that stuff, man. And that rarely happens to me. I've been doing this, if you didn't know, I've been doing this now for going on 18 years. That's right. I had to reflect just now for a second. This is my reflect. Look. 18 years, man. And that never really happened to me. It used to happen to my brother all the time. If you're new to the show, if you just, happen to hear the show by happenstance, me and my brother co-hosted a show called The Two Live Stews for close to 13 years, syndicated nationally. We had done a lot of great things, man, over time. And then one day we came in and they changed the locks. This is me reflecting again. They changed the locks on a ninja, on a couple of ninjas. And so I started doing this show about 3 years ago just to keep my skills together when somebody did come a calling. And it's kind of blossomed into this big thing where we have a network, the Two Live Stews Radio Network, where we have other shows that broadcast on the network all throughout the day, all throughout the week. And so we still push it forward, man. So I hope I don't have, back to the point, I hope I don't have an issue with my voice here in a second and doing the show. Shouts out to my man Maynard Daffin, who donated / contributed to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you, Maynard. Now, let me say something about that. Thank you very much, Maynard. We really do appreciate it. It's tax-free as well. Let me say something. Oh, it's not. It's not tax-free. It's not tax-free. But thank you anyway. Let me say something about that. Last week, there was a little bit of confusion. So I do a show, once again, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the DougStewartShow.com or on Spreaker.com. But on the DougStewartShow.com, you have to have a subscription. It's only $4 a month. And I know I say only $4 is a lot of money to a lot of people. So it's $4 a month. And that lets you hear the show from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. live. All right. And also hear all the archives and all the other good content that we have. This contribution that we're talking about today, it's not, tied to the $4 subscription. You Gucci, as the young people say. You're Gucci with your $4 subscription and hearing the show live every day. All right. This is just a little bonus. This is just a little something so I can go get me an ice cream once or twice a month. No, not really. This is just something that we can pay the bills around here. We have a very extensive setup behind the scenes that I can't even start to describe. If you're watching right now, you may be able to kind of see what we got going on through the camera shots. But we got a lot going on. See, Robert, my man Robert right there, he's at the mothership in D.C., the captain to the show. So we have a lot going on, man, and this stuff ain't free. And these people's time is valuable. Their time is valuable. So if you can, man, we really, really would appreciate it. We'll shout you out. If you have a business and you think that we could help you promote your business, definitely, contact us. You can email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's talk. Let's do some business, man. We think we have a great product here and we're listening to push it forward, push the narrative forward of the Doug Stewart Show on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. All right. Hey, back to the theme of get your ass off my lawn, you punk ass little kid. Stop booing. Y'all some haters. How about that? Hall of Famer Charles Barkley has got some thoughts on the NBA extending its season, notably calling current players poor babies while expressing to them that they are lame. Exactly. Here's a quote from Barkley. He says, I want to commend the NBA. Let me try to do it like Charles Barkley. I want to commend the NBA. He said Wednesday per Eddie Selfko of the Dallas Morning News. These poor babies can't play back-to-back games. That was actually a piss poor Charles Barkley imitation, but that's the best I had. Right. He says making $30, $40 million a year, but we want to make it convenient for them at $40 million a year. We can't stress them out. Barkley's comments come after Jeff Zelgit of USA Today reported in August league owners were expected to approve rules that would punish teams for resting healthy players during the regular season. And so what they're planning to do now is extend the season where these guys are going to have to play less back-to-back games. If you didn't know, the NBA, if you're a casual sports fan, which we have a lot that do listen and watch the show, if you're a casual NBA fan, the NBA, probably 6 or 7 times a year, I believe the number was, play back-to-back games. You know, they'll play games on Wednesday. They'll play games on Thursday the next day. And supposedly this is tough and it strains the players and they don't get a good output in the second night of the back-to-back games. But here's the thing you got to remember if you didn't know, they've been doing this since the beginning of time in the NBA. Not necessarily the beginning of time. They've been doing this for a long, long time. They did this in the 70s. They did this in the 80s. They did this in the 90s. They did this in the 2000s. Thus, get your punk ass, millennial ass off my lawn. These young boys today, man, they got a problem with playing back-to-back. Yeah, making like $30 million a year, legitimately. And this is what I'm talking about. I agree 100% with Charles Barkley. Now, a lot of things I don't agree with Charles Barkley. A lot of things that I totally, I'm diametrically differing with the opinions of Charles Barkley. But this case here, man, he's exactly right. Like, I don't get it. And the bad thing about it is when you sit a guy out or you don't play a guy, a lot of times it's on the road and people pay their hard-earned money to come and see one particular star. When the star doesn't play, then that person that bought those tickets, those fans, man, they just ass out. And so I 100% agree with Charles Barkley in this, man, and have said this and have stated this, once again with the theme of get off my lawn, that I just don't get it, man. These kids today, man, these young players today are just different. And you'll never hear, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, you'll never hear a guy come out and complain totally about playing back-to-back games. And what you have usually is a conversation to come up about it, and they'll kind of opine to, you know, it's really tough for us to go back-to-back basketball games. Well, Dr. J did it, and wasn't that damn tough? Right. George Gervin did it, and it wasn't that tough. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it, and wasn't that tough. The great Andrew Toney, for my Philadelphia 76ers fans out there, did it, and it wasn't that tough. And then when you stack on top of it the money that these guys are making, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And here's the thing about it. I know that a lot of people will say, well, these guys make more money today. They're a bigger investment for the owners. The owners just want to protect their investment. I hear that, but at the end of the day, it's just basketball. These guys are still young. Playing back-to-back basketball games shouldn't bother a 22-year-old ever. When I was 22 years old, when I was 18 years old, a lot of these guys come into the league very, very young after playing just 1 year in college basketball. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I could play basketball from the time I got out of bed, you know, like 12 noon till they turned the darn street lights on. That's right. And most of y'all probably can agree with me and relate to that. And to make the money that you do, I don't think it's that much of a sacrifice for you to go and play on the road, even if it is a back-to-back. You got people, once again, paying their hard-earned money. Families. You know how expensive it is to go to a professional sporting event? And so when you take the families into consideration and hard-earned money that people are spending on the product, man, I think you can go out there and play a basketball game back-to-back. I mean, it ain't like you shoveling no darn coal or digging no ditch or roofing or tarring a roof or something like that. Some real work, you know. There's nothing like that. You playing a game, man. I mean, respect the fans. Respect your sport. Respect the people that came before you, man. Stop being a little punk. Shit. Play the damn game. And listen, let me back up for a second. I just thought about this. Let me just back up for a second because I know this is what's coming. The owners are just as much to blame as the players. The owners and the GMs and the coaches, they're probably just as much at fault or more. It's kind of hand in hand where you have this narrative coming from the league where they want to rest these players. Greg Popovich started this crap. And then you also have players, whenever they talk about it, agreeing that it's good not to play these back-to-back games. And so there's blame to go on both sides. And I just think it's lame. I just think it's lame.com, period, point blank. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, the number to the show is 404-822-5467. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Hey, yo, listen. Usually we're happy-go-lucky and we're talking about fun things, this, that, and the other. It just so happened that today that I'm coming down hard on these little churn. Churn is country short for children. Young people, okay? Yeah, I know a lot of you like churn. What the hell's a churn? You got to be from the country to get that. But it is what it is. When we get back from the break, man, we'll be in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. All I'm going to do in the next segment is read some of your posts, some of your messages in the chat room on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Don't forget, you can contribute to the show and make this the realest, trillest sports and guy talk show. The biggest, realest, trillest sports and guy talk show in America. We appreciate all of your contributions, all right? You'll see a graphic posted showing how you can contribute, and we'll really, really appreciate you. We'll shout you out as well, all right? So back in 3 minutes. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Like, yeah, money deserved it. Handling my supporters, so yeah, the money is...
Loyalty these days is just so hard to find. I remember way back when those were the times. Oh, why can't we press rewind? Press rewind, man. Take it back. I said, the loyalty today is so hard to find. Oh, no, I remember when I trusted people with my sacred touch. Oh, why can't we press rewind?
Better think twice before you ever say goodbye to me. Think hard before you fix your face to lie to me. Good friend, but I make a bad enemy. See a whole nother side of me, and what I'm seeing make it hard to keep believing, man. Everybody's so deceiving, and what I'm giving out don't really match what I'm receiving, but I'm in it anyway. Everything has a season, and they say everything happens for a reason, but I don't know why things go the way they do. Friends become enemies, wanna get at you. Always ready to bounce, never wanna sit it through. But if you wanna leave, you can go when you're ready. I'm dope, so I know you won't forget me. By the time you wake up and you try to come back, I'll be in another city, probably performing this track, running back like... Yeah.
Loyalty these days is just so hard to find. I remember way back when those were the times. Oh, why can't we press rewind? Press rewind, man. Take it back. I said, the loyalty today is so hard to find. Oh, no, I remember when I trusted people with my sacred touch. Oh, why can't we press rewind?
Yo, listen. If it's always hug against the world, watch out for that girl. Cause one day you gon' be the world and she swear you against her, and that you want a man, but she don't even want him, so you won't understand. Look, some people ain't happy when it's peaceful. Misery loves company, it's a beast. They love you the most, but they treat you like the least. Hit you up for your connections and your love, then they leave and see you shine and think they could never be great on their own, so they try to dim yours. But I don't fight battles when I'm trying to win wars. There's enough to go around, baby girl, get yours. But if you wanna leave, you can go when you're ready. I'm dope, so I know you won't forget me. By the time you wake up and you try to come back, I'll be in another city, probably performing this track, running back.
These days is just so hard to find. I remember way back when
Yeah. So coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk to recording artist Dynasty. You hear one of her tracks in the background. She's worked with a bunch of established artists like DJ Premier. She's also worked with Talib Kweli. So she's pretty established in her right mind, man, her own right. And just sad we don't hear more artists like her on radio. I'm asking that, man. Like, how does she feel about hearing Lil Uzi and Tom, Dick, and Harry rapper week in and week out? I mean, check this out.
A bad enemy. See a whole nother side of me, and what I'm seeing make it hard to keep believing, man. Everybody so deceiving, and what I'm giving out. Really
wordplay is crazy. Once again, man, you can go to her website, yourgirldy.com, YAGIRLDY.com, yourgirldy.com, and purchase her album. That's right, Wax. And she'll actually, if you mention that you heard about her website on the DougStewartShow.com and her album on the Doug Stewart Show, then she'll actually sign it for you. It'll be a signed copy of the album, which once again, when she blows up, it might be worth some money or something like that. You never know. Right. Yeah. Hey, 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467. That's the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@DougStewartShow.com. From my man KJ in the chat on YouTube and Facebook. He says, the only problem I have with sitting guys is when you sit guys at home. Fans may only be able to come to one game and they want to see their hometown stars. If you are on the road, it gives that home team a better chance to win, and that fan won't mind. I actually am on the other side of that argument. Like, you only get to see visiting teams certain times a year, usually one time a year, especially if you're in a different conference. Like, you know, say you play for the Miami Heat. Like, they're not going to go to Milwaukee or Utah, you know, more than twice probably. Sometimes, I guess, maybe one time. I'm not exactly sure how the schedule works out. So if you're a fan of a visiting team and you're and you come or you're a fan of the home team and you come to the game to specifically see LeBron James, or you come to the game to see specifically Dwayne Wade or whatever, and because they're on the road and they don't give a rat's ass about those road fans or those fans from another city, then they're just out of luck. I don't think that's cool at all. So I'm actually on the other side of that argument. I hear what you're saying, but I'm actually on the other side. For Cornelia Small, what's crazy is we call these guys soft, but some of our parents work 6 and sometimes 7 days a week, but we complain about a 5-day work week. That's true. That's true. Now, that's not me. I wouldn't complain about a 1-day work week because I haven't had one in a while. Well, I actually punched the clock. Right. Well, I actually punched the clock. Yeah. From Sidney Jackson, the league is trying to make sure the players play. So there's nothing wrong with the NBA eliminating back-to-back games. And here's, you kind of bring up or make me think about another point, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is there's no factual data that shows you playing less back-to-back games is going to help increase the chances of you not getting hurt. There isn't. It's just this feeling out there. There's no statistical data. No one's done any type of research that actually proves that sitting a guy or not having a guy play back-to-back games is going to help extend his career and help him possibly not, have some type of injury, nagging injury or long-term injury, whatever it may be. There's no facts out there at all. As a matter of fact, I'll say that the data probably shows, if you look at the NBA's history, that guys have played for the most part and never really had an issue with injuries. Like, most guys don't get injured to the point where they miss games, they miss weeks, they miss months. Those things are kind of like an aberration. And so if you look at 13 guys on each team, there are 32 teams in the NBA, or 30 teams in the NBA, one of the two. There's 32 teams in the NFL. There's, I think it's 32 teams. If you look at the history of the NBA, in relative terms to all the players that played in the league and players on the rosters right now, guys don't sustain significant injuries. to a large degree. I'd probably say 5% of guys get hurt where they miss, multiple games. So, I mean, what's different today than 20 years ago? What's different today than 30 years ago? What's different today than 50 years ago? I'll tell you what, Ralph Tresvant came out with a song called Mr. Sensitivity or something like that. Yeah. From Thomas Dickey, terrible in my Charles Barkley voice. Ralph Scott, these ninjas complain about playing back-to-back games as they make millions of dollars. Nicka, please, man up. I agree 100%. From KK3K. What up, KK3K? I'm trying not to use cats' real names. I got a little pushback from that last week. Ninjas hit me up on my Facebook and inbox me and email me, man. Listen, stop calling my government name. My boss might be listening right now. So I'm trying to use like an alias or whatever. KK3000 says, I really don't think it's about the back-to-back. I really think they are pushing the envelope, power moves, et cetera, et cetera. They see their voices are finally being heard, but then he just goes on to say that's what he really thinks it is. The players today are definitely more powerful than they were back in the day. They have more negotiating power than they did back in the day. I 100% agree with that. I totally agree with that. I'm talking about it from the standpoint from a fan, though. And that's really anybody listening to this show right now. Unless you're getting ready for training camp that starts Monday in the NBA for a lot of teams, then you should be looking at this from the perspective of a fan as well. A paying consumer. From Sidney J. Stop it, Doug. Trying to compare pickup ball and Monk's going to YMC to the NBA. Whatever. You know the point I'm trying to make. Ninjas always take something to the extreme. From who do we have here? Mike Smith says less back-to-backs, better product. No one's going to be able to definitively say that. And once again, I said it earlier. There's no definitive proof that that's the case. It's not. From Warren Knicks fan, he says Barkley can't play 2 back-to-back games in his driveway. He shouldn't say Nathan. Charles Barkley is over like 50 years old. He's damn near 60. What are you talking about? Stop it. Rodney G, he says it's called progress, Doug. Whatever. But Ralph Scott, these kids are soft as shit today. They are. Ralph Scott also says, you soft, Duke. You soft, in the Biggie Smalls voice. You remember that quote from Biggie Smalls back in the day? Rest in peace to him. Bottom line is I agree. I agree, man, that a guy making the money that they do, playing a game, and I hate to be the guy that always throws that into the equation as well. You're playing a game. And I kind of touched upon it earlier. You're not talking about digging a ditch, man. Simple as that. If Kevin Durant's watching right now, in particular, he needs to be watching. If Kevin Durant's watching, LeBron's watching, man, think about the effect that you're having on the youth. You're promoting these childish, moistish type ways. I'm sorry. The kids look up to you.
Well, LeBron doesn't play back-to-back games on the playground or in the NBA, but in my case, the playground. So I shouldn't have to play back-to-back days on the playground. LeBron doesn't do it.
Right. Exactly. Right. You have an effect on the kids, the youth today. Okay? And so I just think it's bad. Period. Hey, man, thank y'all so much for all of the messages in the chat room on the DougStewartShow.com on YouTube and Facebook. Do me a favor. This is a big favor. I know. If you want to continue to hear this real sports talk and real opinions, unfiltered opinions, man, not only am I asking you for a couple of dollars, right, which is a necessary evil, but I'm also asking you to hit the share button. I see the share button right now on my screen, all right? I see it. There's a share button. It won't hurt you at all to hit that share button, man. All right, maybe you just lost your job. Maybe your boss told you to pack your stuff and get the hell out. And you can't donate $5, $10, $20, $50, $500, $5,000, $55,000 if you got it. Okay? You might be one of them oil sheiks or whatever. Okay? You may have a lot of disposable income that you can just, contribute to the Doug Stewart Show. But you may not. Hit the share button. That's big, too. That's orca big. Hit the share button, man, and spread the word and spread the gospel of the Doug Stewart Show. Once again, the realest, trillest sports and guy talk show in America. All right, so we're going to take a break here. When we get back from the break, we are going to have on the line Sports Radio 92.1, The Games in Michigan. We're going to have on their host, their sports analyst, Rico Beard. All right, talk a little bit of Falcons and Detroit Lions. More in particular, we're going to talk about the Lions and the great start that they're off to. Incredible. Matthew Stafford got all that money and is doing big things thus far in the season. So we're going to talk to my man Rico Beard in the state of Michigan, man, sports talk journalist, host there in Michigan. Talk about the Lions and the Falcons coming up this weekend, all right? And a little bit later, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Dynasty. Been talking about her all day long today. If you're an artist, man, and you want to be featured on the Doug Stewart Show, have your music played, have people find out about you, you can do it. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we'll get you set up, all right? We promote the hell out of artists around here. Rico Beard coming up next. Don't go away.
Can no longer pay the bills that you come in with them bars.
Girl, you beautiful, you believe it? I can see me in your eyes, can you see it? Probably not, cause you focus on some other things. Like, why you don't get the love that a mother brings? Like, how come your daddy ain't there most days, right? And when he is, he telling you go play. Like, you ain't almost 14 years old and you don't need your daddy's influence on your life. Like, you don't mean nothing to him, so you find somebody else to mean something to. Other things you run into, mama don't know cause she busy with her own life. Grandma don't know cause she busy in her own right. She ain't have you, but she love you nonetheless, so she trying to help out. You know she doing her best, while her best could be better. You gotta settle for less with nobody to call when that relative be molesting, but it's possible. Yeah. Listen, I know it seemed dim and dark most days when you summon to the park to go play and you wind up getting into things that you shouldn't. Only going off what you knew so you couldn't see beyond where you stand. Scared to take leaps because you won't take moves if you can't see where you land. But one day you come up with a plan to escape all the hurt that you don't understand, and you act like you don't care. But I can feel all of the things that you don't share. But let me tell you that it does get better. You will have some regrets, but anything is possible if you take the right steps. But you think it's the end of the world. That's because you taking big woman steps when you just a little girl, and you so caught up with these boys when they hurt you. But these little boys you rock with, they are hurt too. It's possible. She looking for love and you the one she gonna look to. But you still growing too, so you got a lot in common. But she don't know you dealing with your own problems. Just you and your pops trying to make it. Mom's passed a few years back, she was taken too soon. Now you lost and easily influenced. Trying to hang with the big boys, so you doing anything that it takes to get by doing dirt. But while you get props, somebody is getting hurt, and you don't understand the consequence of your actions. What you do now will come back. It's a fact, it's a big world that's ahead of you, my boy. The thought of everything you could be is my joy. If you and baby girl could only see what you be, you would know why you you two are so important to me, cause it's possible.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Hey, shouts out to everybody that's contributed, man. Once again, Maynard Daffin, Courtney Williams. Thank you, brother. Really do appreciate that. And also Tyrone Bell, man, have all donated / contributed to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. If you wanna see more quality content and more real sports talk and guy talk radio, man, contribute to the show. You'll see a graphic that tells you how to do that. We got Dynasty coming at the bottom of the hour, recording artist Dynasty. You can actually go and buy her latest album at yourgirldie.com, and she'll actually autograph it for you if you mention that you heard about her on the Doug Stewart Show. But right now, joining me on the Doug Stewart Show is my man Rico Beard from Sports Talk Radio 92.1 in Michigan. Rico, good morning. How you doing?
Doug, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Man, no problem. Thank you for coming on. So your Lions. Now, and I don't know if you know this. You may know this. My brother actually played for the Detroit Lions for 5 years. Ryan Stewart.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was your brother.
Yeah. So he actually played for the Lions for 5 years, and I had a newfound respect for the Detroit Lions fans, man, after going up there. As bad as the team historically has been, the fans are like the greatest fans ever, man, and they support the team through thick and thin. And we actually
thin and thick.
Yeah, right. We actually wanted to talk to you, man, about this team. This team is 2-0 right now. Matthew Stafford, who just got this big contract a while back, 5 years, $135 million, is playing phenomenal. And I'm one of those guys that didn't think Matthew Stafford was worth that type of money. Talk about this Lions team thus far and the great start that they've gotten off to.
Well, Doug, you know what? You're not the only one that didn't think that. I didn't think that either when he got the contract, but that's the nature of the business right now. Is you're an NFL quarterback, you got a pulse, you can lead your team to a couple of victories. You're going to get the money, plain and simple. But looking at this team now, they're 2-0, and this is something they've done before. They've gotten off to fast starts before, but I think it was the way they beat the Giants last week because Stafford didn't have a good game. He only passed for, I think, like 122 yards. They had to grind it out. They had to try to find some semblance of a running game. They did just enough. Now, let me pause and say I think the Giants are horrible, but a win is a win, and you don't apologize for a victory.
Right. You don't apologize for a victory, especially in the NFL, and you're right. A win is a win is a win. Lions haven't won a playoff game since 1991, and that was during the era when my brother still was on the team. That was the win against the Jets, I believe.
No, it was the Cowboys. Believe it or not, it was the Dallas Cowboys. I was at that game. I took my then brother-in-law as a Christmas gift, and at the time, if I would have told you one of these two teams would go on to win Super Bowls, Dallas had the beginnings of the triplets with Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith, and the Lions beat them that day, and that was the last time, 1991.
Right.
Saying, finally, that's how it was.
Right. I'm actually confusing that. I was actually at the game where Barry Sanders rushed for, or he broke the 2,000-yard mark, and it was against the Jets. I'm pretty sure about that in Detroit. And so I'm actually confusing those two different events. So 1991, this team right now is off to a 2-0 start once again. What has been the main thing about this team and why they look so good on the field right now? Is it because Matthew Stafford is that wily veteran and making plays when he needs to, or is it this defense? Ziggy Ansah went off the other night in their most recent game against the Giants, man, had a couple of sacks. Talk about this defense and the offense and how they kind of help each other out.
I think you got to go a little bit deeper than that, Doug. I think the difference of this Lions team has been Bob Quinn coming in to be the general manager. And as silly as it sounds, he's doing things that general managers do. But here in Detroit, we never had that before. You know, you had Matt Millen. You just had failed GM after failed GM, and they just couldn't get out of their way. Every year in the draft, they had to be the smartest man in the room, and it never worked out. They would pass over guys like Aaron Donald to take Eric Ebron, even though you knew Ndamukong Suh was out the door, but you thought that, we can re-sign Suh. Suh told you he was leaving. From when he signed the contract, he said, I'm signing a 3-year deal so I can get out of Detroit fast enough. But for some reason, no one believed him. So they passed on Aaron Donald. They passed on a lot of bad people. Now with Bob Quinn, they are going and they're addressing the one thing that it takes to win in football, a line, offensive and defensive line. The fact that you can get, steals like Ashawn Robinson in the second round who's contributing. So that's the difference is the offensive and defensive line on this team.
Talking to Sports Radio 92.1's Rico Beard on the Doug Stewart Show on a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. You just mentioned the new GM and the great job that he seemingly is doing thus far. And you mentioned Matt Millen, and you probably remember Martin Mayhew, who was the GM there for the last couple of years. Talk about, man, those times and those particular GMs a little bit more in depth about the bad moves that they made. Matt Millen, I remember just year after year saying, what in the world is Matt Millen doing? It seems like you guys are on the right track right now, though, again.
Matt Millen and Mayhew always had to be the smartest guys in the room. And normally Mayhew was a disciple of Matt Millen. And if you architect the only perfect team in the NFL, Doug, they went 0-16. No one may ever do that again. He got fired, but instead of going out and getting somebody different, you hired his number one assistant. That told you the mentality of Lions management and ownership. It's too much of a family type of atmosphere.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go out there. As you know, sometimes you got to go out there and kick your brother in the butt. You got to and push him around a little bit. Lions didn't do that. They hired Mayhew, and it was pretty much the same. Every year, they would take a draft pick. They would try and get Matthew Stafford weapons all around him instead of trying to improve the line. As you know, if you improve the line, your running game is better. You got more time to pass the ball, and your offense improves. But that was always a secondary thing. The Lions, every year, we would always joke in Detroit and say that the draft is the Super Bowl because that's the most time that the Lions fans are optimistic. But when it came to their drafts, they would hit on their first pick and then nothing else. I mean, these are the same people who drafted Javed Best out of Cal and didn't know he had concussion problems. Really? The rest of the world knew that, but you didn't. They drafted Amir Abdullah and didn't know he had fumble problems. It's like, don't you guys have any type of cable package? You can't see any of these games to see the red flags that everybody else sees.
Right. Finishing up with Rico Beard right now, 92.1 in Michigan, talking a little Lions football. I also want to ask you a quick, you host a show called the Spartan Beat about your Michigan State Spartans, but Jim Caldwell, the job that he's done, you guys went to the playoffs last year, and I used to be very critical of Jim Caldwell when he was at Indianapolis. I thought that he wasn't aggressive enough. He was kind of timid in the way that team ran its organization at the time. What about the job that he's done there in Detroit since he's been there?
You know what? It's funny because if you look at it in a bubble, he's actually done a good job. He's taken the Lions to the playoffs the last, I think, 2 out of the last 3 years. He hasn't gotten over that hump. They haven't made it to the divisional round of the playoffs. They're eliminated in the wild card games. He's close. He just needs that player or two to get him over the edge. And you're looking at the guys like Ziggy Ansah and Slay and those guys on defense. You're hoping that maybe they can get over that hump. Maybe they can win that final game against the Green Bay and become divisional champs instead of having to play in a wild card game.
Yeah. Finishing up with Rico Beard right now on the Doug Stewart Show. Give me a quick little synopsis of Michigan State. They got a big game this weekend taking on Notre Dame. What about them Spartans?
Well, you know what? It's funny because kind of like the Lions taking on Atlanta, you're going to find out more about what they are. You're going to finally find out what Michigan State is. They had 2 MAC teams. They had Bowling Green and Western Michigan, and you kind of didn't really know what they were. Western Michigan took USC to like 7 minutes left in the game. The score was tied, and then the next week the Spartans blew them out. So you don't know what this team is yet. They had a horrible season last year. They had a horrible offseason last year with a lot of legal problems. We're waiting to see are they closer to that team that went to the playoffs, or are they closer to the team that we saw last year that went 3-9? We're going to find out. I think they're closer to that playoff team. Brian Lewerke, I think, is going to actually lead them to a victory over Notre Dame.
All right, so give me a quick little update. Connor Hayward, the legendary Ironhead Hayward son, who we know fondly here in Atlanta.
Commercial.
Yeah, so he's a member, a freshman now on the Spartan team. Did they redshirt him? Is he going to play? What's he been up to?
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that because Mark D'Antonio, the head coach, came out of his press conference this week and said that he will be playing this year, taking the red shirt off. He's going to be a backup running back, but they're going to use him a lot on special teams because they like the way he can get down the field and hit. He can just cause havoc, kind of like his old man used to.
Yeah, incredible athlete. Like, he can stand in one place and dunk the basketball. And, you know, his brother Cameron Hayward at Pittsburgh doing big things. And once again, his old man, Ironhead Hayward, just tremendous genes, man. Hey, we'll keep an eye on him. And Rico, thank you so much for the time, man. Thank you for coming on the Doug Stewart Show.
Anytime, Doug. Just let me know when you want me back.
That's what's up. That's my man Rico Beard right there on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so we're going to take a quick little break. When we get back, we will have on the line Dynasty. That's right. You hear in the background with these live tracks. We're going to talk to Dynasty coming up. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
What the techniques, we gotta let the facts speak. Recline back to the back, seat the trunk beat.
I've been in the mirror staring deep into my own eyes, trying to dig deeper, trying to go back to the start. I've been thinking lately and listening to my own cries. Work with me a minute, I'm finna pour out my heart. Yeah, I went to school and copped a couple degrees, plus a few life lessons had me feeling real smart. Till I realized I don't know nothing about nothing. Everything is all connected and I'm living a la carte. Caught a spark, little light, caught fire like a lighter in the hands of an arsonist. I've been on call for this, how I get comfortable. Not doing my thing, yo, that's perpetual awkwardness. Shut myself down for you even got a chance to. Yeah, but I've been listening to chance who show me that I could be dope, real, raw, independent. Shut it down if I ever get a chance to. Let me be great. I'm just over here growing, just making my way. Everything that I say is my life and I'm living today. Cause tomorrow all of it could change, but my truth, it will always remain. And my love is the same and my life is still golden. The goodness I hold in and release the pain. So no hard feelings to the haters. This life is beautiful, wish you the same. I said let me be great. Let them talk, you just walk it out. Yeah, you know what it's all about. People get envious, don't look within. Greatness within me, I'll never pretend to be anything less than the all that I am. Majestic and royal, they call me the queen. One of one, there is none other like me. No arrogance, I just know I'm supreme. So let me be great. Yeah, life is for living, so this means we all make mistakes. Lessons are blessings, not final, not fate. They put the plate down and you leave the table if what they are serving ain't fit for your taste. Yo, yeah, I don't care who made it or how long it took to make. If it ain't good for your soul, leave that shit on the table to ride on the tray. Be great. I'm just over here growing, just making my way. Everything that I say is my life and I'm living today. Cause tomorrow all of it could change, but my truth, it will always remain. And my love is the same and my life is still golden. The goodness I hold in and release the pain. So no hard feelings to the haters. This life is beautiful, wish you the same. I said let me be great.
Who you know kill a dude on the
Yeah.
track? Smile with him in the flip like Colette.
Hey, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. This is a fantastic, freaking funny football Friday. You can email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. You can also give us a call at 404-822-5467. Man, I've been vibing the Dynasty for a minute, but we really vibing on her today. Joining me right now on the Doug Stewart Show is the artist that you hear in the background, Dynasty. Hey, Dynasty, how you doing? Hey, Dynasty, how you doing? Do we have Dynasty? I think we have Dynasty. I think we froze up for a second. We'll get her back on here, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But this is a fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. We'll jump back in the chat in a little while here and read some of your thoughts about everything that we've talked about today. We also got to get to this college football. We also have to get to some NFL talk, obviously, on a Friday, a football Friday through the NFL season and the regular season in college football. So a lot to get to today. Shouts out to my man, Tyrone Bell. Thank you so much, brother, for contributing to the show. Yes. Thank you. Right. Thank you for contributing to the show, man. We really do appreciate it, man. Shouts out once again to Courtney Williams, Maynard Daffin, and everybody that's donated / contributed to the Doug Stewart Show today. We have more fun around here. I can't even start to tell you what we've done on this show and the last that we've had on this show for the last 3 years. And this month coming up, we'll make 3 years that we've been doing the Doug Stewart Show on the 2 Hour Stews radio network. And trust me, man, we actually kind of toned it down a little bit on the video platform on Friday. But if y'all continue to contribute, we'll actually turn it up even more like we do daily on the audio platform. So it's up to you, man. We really enjoy doing this show, man. We talk about sports, I believe, like no one else in the industry does. We have fun. It's a mixture and a combination of sports and guy talk and hip-hop talk and pop culture, entertainment, and all of that stuff in the news. That's what we do here Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can actually become a subscriber to the network by going to thedougstewartshow.com. And at the top of the page, there's a little tab that says become a premium member. And when you click on that, it's $4 a month once again. Very, very simple, very safe and secure through Stripe. All right. So I believe we have her on right now. Joining me right now on the show, the Doug Stewart Show, is recording artist Dynasty. Hey, Dynasty.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
I am great. Sorry about that. I had some technical issues here, so I had to call in with my phone, but thanks for bearing with me.
No problem. No problem. Thank you very much for coming on. I've been saying it for a while, man. Your music is just hot like fish grease. Where are you from originally? You might not catch that term.
I catch that because I'm from Queens, New York, but I was raised by my godmother
as well, and I have family. My aunt.
I do. I plan to be among those who rule. I plan to be among the top. So that's what it means. Leader, born leader.
Wow. You've worked with some incredible artists throughout your career. Erykah Badu, Wu-Tang, Talib Kweli, KRS-One, who proclaim this is a real MC and talking about you.
Yes,
now, when you get credit like that, when you get a shout out from KRS-One, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Talk about how it's been to work with some of those legendary hip hop artists.
Well, it's been amazing. It's been a true blessing. Most of those artists that you name are artists who I've had the pleasure of rocking shows with, but I have worked with DJ Premier. We have 2 songs together. I have a song with Talib Kweli. It's just been incredible to be recognized by the legends, by the icons, as someone to watch and someone who's doing her thing. So I'm grateful.
Now, listening to your music, and we are talking to Dynasty right now, the Doug Stewart Show. You can check out her music. You can actually get an album, an old school album.
Old school, that's right.
At yourgirldie.com. And she'll also sign it if you mention that you heard about it on the Doug Stewart Show. Listen, I'm old school. I talk about, my affinity for hip hop. I graduated high school in the golden age of hip hop. They call it like 1987, 88. That's when I graduated high school.
Okay.
I hear your voice. Not only did KRS-One give you this compliment, but I hear a little bit, and one of the listeners said this. She kind of heard a little bit of Rod Digger and a little bit of Lauryn Hill. I mean, it don't get any better than that.
It doesn't.
Talk about your journey, man, and how long you've been doing this thing and where it's taken you, like nationally and internationally.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing this thing early 90s, just fell in love with it. And I say, let me introduce you to a little brown girl from Queens with big dreams. This thing has taken me across the ocean, all throughout Germany, Poland, Switzerland, Denmark, Italy, so many places I could go on. And it's like, it's just a dream come true. I'm preparing to go overseas again in 2 weeks. And it's still surreal to me that this thing that I started doing as a little tomboy has grew with me as I've grown into a woman, and it's taken me, around the world. It's a beautiful thing.
Talking to Dynasty right now, the Doug Stewart Show on a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday, music artist. And this year in particular, what's been new for Dynasty? Have you dropped any new singles, a new album? What's been the newest thing for Dynasty?
Well, the most recent album that I've dropped is Forever DY, and I'm excited because, as you mentioned, the vinyl is out now. You can see it right there over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm so excited about that. It was a process getting it done. So many people, so many hindrances. So to be able to hold that in my hand is just a victory for me. So that's out now, and I'm also finalizing my new album, which is the Lavluv, which is dropping this fall. So that's what's been on.
When you were a little girl growing up in Queens, did you ever think that you'd be an artist? Much less, once again, you came up kind of during the time where hip hop really caught its second wind and really, was throughout or shown or played throughout the masses. Like when you were a little girl growing up in New York, did you ever think that you would be an artist for a living?
I didn't know exactly that I would do it for a living, but I knew that I had a love for it. I always tell people I've been a ham since I was 3 years old, the kid that was always entertaining the family. So I knew it would play some role in my life, but I couldn't have imagined that it would be at the point that it's at right now. So, and I'm still growing. I still got a way to go. So to be an indie, unsigned, no manager, but a team of friends that really help and push me, I think I'm doing all right, and I'm grateful to be in this space.
You kind of took me into my next question, and really probably my last question. We'll stay on this for a second. And you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, watching the Doug Stewart Show, and we are interviewing your girl, Die.com, artist Dynasty, on the show. You kind of mentioned it just now. Listen, I'm very critical of these young whippersnappers in 2017. They call them mumble rappers, and the hip hop is just different today than what I grew up on. When we hear you, we hear straight skills. You're a true lyricist. I mean, KRS-One said it. Hell, I don't have to say it. How do you feel the fact that you're still independent in relative terms? You're not on that grand scale where people can get into their car and turn on the radio and hear Dynasty and her music. You got to feel some type of way to turn on the radio. And I don't want you to diss anybody. I mean, you got to see these people in the streets. You got to feel some type of way when you turn on the radio and you hear Cardi B. When you hear Lil Yachty, you got to feel some type of way like, what am I doing wrong? How is it that this person that never rocked the mic before to this degree is getting all this airplay? How do you feel about today's hip hop?
You know what? I went through my phase. I went through that phase of artistry where it's like, yo, I'm sitting here writing rhymes, putting my heart and soul into this, and you turn on the radio and hear, I don't know, bag it, and something crazy.
Right.
And it's a hit, and it's, I mean, like the Cash Me Outside girl just got signed. It's like, really? So, you definitely feel that sting every now and then. But I've kind of grown to the point where I understand that I don't fit the agenda. You know what I mean? I don't fit the agenda. I don't talk,
Which is crazy because you got skills.
Listen, and people want it, which is really, really stupid because the door is wide open for someone in the industry to get their money and for me to get my money and to be able to connect with people the way I want to. I know it comes down to the dollar. the door is wide open for somebody to make a whole lot of money with an artist like me. But right now they're caught up in keeping women talking about sex, you know, being half naked. You know, that's the agenda, you know, so I don't fit that just yet, but I don't fit that right now, but it's all good. I have a core organic audience that rocks with me and have been supporting me for years. That's keeping me doing what it is that I love. And I really can't complain. One day it'll turn around. It might be the next MC that comes after me. Maybe it'll be me. Who knows? But I'm still here doing my thing, so it's all good. There's a place for everybody.
You know what, man? That's beautiful, man. But I'm still mad as hell. I'm still mad.
I'll be a little bit mad sometimes. I'll be a little bit mad. I can't stop.
That's a great answer, and I know you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You don't want to knock anybody's hustle. I get it, but I can be mad for you. There's bullshit what's going on the radio right now.
So a lot of it is. I can say that. A lot of it is.
Right. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your music to promote you. Once again, people watching the show right now can check her out at yourgirldie.com. And once again, she'll sign it if you mention that you heard it on the Doug Stewart Show. When she does blow up, I'm speaking it into existence. When she does blow up, it'll be a collector's item. Dynasty, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Peace.
That's what's up. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we get back from the break, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to move back to the sports. A legend of the game retires, man. I'll tell you about that. We'll talk about Dynasty and the interviews that we did already. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Yeah, you know what it's all about. People get
know how I rock. I'm hip hop,
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. Know how I rock. I'm hip hop,
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
In walks the girl with her hair all woolly, flow on, swole, the unexpected bully. I am not what you thought. Body suckers for sport and slaughter the ones I caught, recorded and then report. Yeah, I'm a star, but I rock my day to day. Yeah, just so you don't fear me when you see me trying to play fair. My abilities are my greatest advantage. On my worst days, delivery is very hard to manage. At your best, you don't even come close. Who are you? I don't even got the energy to argue. I'm tired of hearing whack bars like those. Please know, you dealing with a star and life's closed. So I don't rock for free, so stop it. Pull out your wallet, this is not a non-profit. Started out in Jackie Robinson Elementary. Now I'm rocking with legends, this is real black history.
Know how I rock. I'm hip hop,
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here. No, how I rock. I'm hip hop,
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music.
I touch it and it's blessed.
It could take up to a minute till you get it, before you realize that I'm really here to win it. They say I smile a lot for a minute. You're an afterthought, I'm the premise. I'm real, you're an image. This is only the beginning, and I'm connecting with legends. Truth is, I'd rather be a genuine peasant than to be a rich fraud. So I spit and rip bars. Primo told me I'm a spit queen, spit hard. Get used to it, cause we only plan to keep pushing forward. You know I understand you. Hey, they say I can't rip it like a man do. Can't handle what I'm about to hand you. We are on the next level, living out our dreams. Based in reality, you busy trying to scheme. Don't know if I'ma make it, but you want me on your team. Cause you notice how I turn all of my haters in the feet.
Know how I rock. I'm hip hop,
AKA your girl DY.
Fake rappers stand down and stay right there. This is street music, so it stays right here.
Yeah. I swear to you, I can rock to this all day long, man. This is where I come from. This is type hip hop that I grew up on. Shout out, big shouts out to Dynasty, man. That was some good shit. I don't know how shit can be good, but that was good. You know what I meant. Good shit. Yeah. production on point, skills, metaphors, witty lines, all of the elements of a great MC, man. Shouts out to Dynasty. Check her out once again at yourgirldie.com, yourgirldie.com. Buy the wax. That's right, wax. When she does blow up, you have a signed copy of her latest album, man. All right? Yourgirldie.com, yourgirldie.com. Yeah. Hey, the number to the show is 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@dougstewartshow.com. In the last two segments, we had guests on, and we had a couple of people that called the show. You can call back if you'd like, and we'll get you on the air. Once again, the number is 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@dougstewartshow.com. One of the big stories from yesterday and from the last week really is boxer Andre Ward is calling it a career. That's right. The pound for pound king, a lot of people call him. Andre Ward is calling it a career. If you haven't heard, this news kind of broke late yesterday evening. But he announced his retirement Thursday, just as he reached number one on various pound-for-pound lists. Here's a quote from Andre Ward. He says, "I want to be clear. I'm leaving because my body can no longer put up with the rigors of the sport, and therefore my desire to fight is no longer there." He said in a statement Thursday morning, "If I cannot give my family, my team, and the fans everything that I have, then I should no longer be fighting." The Olympic champion attributed a physical toll and waning desire to his decision to walk away. Relatively young at 33 years of age, 32-0, 16 knockouts. He was coming off an 8th-ranked knockout of Russia's Sergey Kovalev in June, a rematch of their November bout with which the American won by a controversial unanimous decision. Those pay-per-view fights came after a host of injuries and a promotional spat that conspired to limit him to 4 fights in the previous 50 months. So he had an issue with injuries over the last couple of years. He went 114-5 in an extraordinary amateur career that culminated with an Olympic gold medal at the Athens Games, which remains the last time an American has topped the podium in men's boxing. Do you remember back in the day, the Americans dominated? It was America and it was Cuba when I was a little boy that dominated the Olympics in boxing. And such has not been the case. Boxing in general has been down for the last couple of years. We talk about it all the time and how the emergence of MMA has been, at a perfect time where boxing has kind of been waning. And so he's the last American to win the gold medal. That's crazy. Once again, went 114-5 in his career, and just a phenomenal boxer, man. He was married, a devout Christian, kind of like a turn from the normal background or the normal narrative of a boxer. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show where, usually a guy has a checkered past and trouble with the law. Not all the time, but a lot of times you see boxers like that. And then also you put that in comparison to Floyd Mayweather Jr. and how people hated him. Like Ward was kind of like the antithesis of the opposite of Floyd Mayweather Jr. And so he's leaving at a bad time. Anytime a great boxer like this, an undefeated boxer, and once again, on a lot of people's lists, pound for pound, best fighter in the world leaves, it's not a good thing. His contract with HBO ended. He had fought 6 of his last 7 fights with HBO, and so his career is over. As far as pound for pound, a couple of different rankings. Number 5 was Keith Thurman. Number 4, Canelo Alvarez, who fought obviously last weekend against Triple G. Golovkin. Number 3 was Terrence Crawford. Number 2 was Vasyl Lomachenko. And the number 1 pound for pound boxer in the world, I think most people will agree now that Ward is retired, is Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. And so tremendous career, undefeated, shots out, and ball award on a Friday, on a fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday to Andre Ward. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so don't forget, man, we got a lot going on, and this is what we have every day. We got a lot going on the Doug Stewart Show. We have to give out boiled peanuts a little bit later if you're new to the show. If you're just joining us in the middle of the show, that's the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. That's a long story on how we came up with the name. I don't want to get to it right now. I don't want to talk about it. Somebody in the chat room, somebody listening to the show on YouTube or Facebook can explain it to you. It's a silly story, actually. But we take nominees all week long. Your nominees are Kevin Durant for moist behavior and creating a fake account on Twitter and defending himself. He got caught. Albert Hainsworth getting beat up by his old lady and called a racial epithet. Got to be more careful. Fight judge Adelaide Bird, who I just talked about, that Triple G Canelo fight, who scored at 118 to 110. If you're new to the show, I talked about this on last week's episode. I didn't have a problem with the fight. For your information, I didn't have a problem with the fight being a draw. I, just like most people, had a problem with this one judge scoring at 118 to 110 for Canelo, which is unbelievable. But if you say that, listen, she still gave the round to Canelo, another judge gave it to Triple G, and one judge had it a draw, then I don't have a problem with the draw, because I do think that both those guys had a great fight. And the last nominee for this week's Boiled Peanuts Award is the LA football fans. 2 games, the Chargers and the Rams there back in LA have probably sold maybe 30,000 tickets. And you're talking about stadiums that hold a lot more. Actually, the San Diego Chargers are playing at a soccer field right now, but it's just a bad look for fans not to show up for these professional football teams as they just come back to the city. Man, once again, shouts out to Rico Beard from Sports Radio 92.1 in Lansing, Michigan, talking Lions football as well as Spartan football for a second there. And then also to Dynasty, man, phenomenal artist, and I wish nothing but the best for her. It was really sad. I swear to you, it's some type of damn conspiracy going on in the music industry right now. I could talk about this day in and day out. But artists like that, and you've heard her music all day long, straight skill. Production, everything is just phenomenal with her, man. And I root for people like that. I root for the underdog. Why she's the underdog and Cardi B getting major radio play, I don't know. Now, I know it sounds like, if you're new to the show, I know it sounds like that I'm bashing Cardi B and Lil Yachty, and I am for the most part. But I have to admit to you, in listening to the Cardi B song, I don't know, 11 times over the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's actually started to kind of creep up on me. Right. Like these songs today, man, the production, the music with these hip hop songs today, man, they kind of got like a hypnotizing effect to them. And you listen to long enough, man, and the beats are very simple. You listen long enough and you start bobbing your head. Like when you first used to hear these tracks, when they first came on the radio, you looked at it with a side eye like, man, another bullshit song they putting on the radio. Then the next time you hear it, you move your head a little bit like this. And then the next time you hear it, you bob your head a little bit more, then more, then more, and then more. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, and it's go. Before you know it, you loving the damn song. So I think that's part of the scenario as well. That's one of the variables in the music today. The music is hypnotizing, like Get Out hypnotizing, like an old white woman tapping on her tea glass hypnotizing. Right. Right. If you get the reference to Get Out, it is. I hear these songs for the first time and I hate them, and a month later I love them. And that Cardi B track is proof perfect. Yeah. All right, when we get back from the break and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, it'll be the top of the hour. Hour number 3, we call it the Power Hour. That's not really original. I just like saying Power Hour. Yeah. It'll be the top of the hour, man. We'll get to a little bit of college football, man. I'm going to give you the 4 biggest games this weekend in college football. So says me. All right, we'll have some fun with that. And later we'll get into some NFL talk. Still got to give away the boiled peanuts. Still going to talk to my man Lavluv, comedian extraordinaire. A lot to do and not a lot of time to get there. College football talk coming up next. Don't go away.
The name Peabody.
Deep Y. Can I get a little more music? Yeah.
I've been in the mirror staring deep into my own eyes, trying to dig deeper, trying to go back to the start. I've been thinking lately and listening to my own cries. Work with me a minute, I'm finna pour out my heart. Yeah, I went to school and copped a couple degrees, plus a few life lessons had me feeling real smart. Till I realized I don't know nothing about nothing. Everything is all connected and I'm living a la carte. Caught a spark, little light, caught fire like a lighter in the hands of an arsonist. I've been on call for this, how I get comfortable. Not doing my thing, yo, that's perpetual awkwardness. Shut myself down for you even got a chance to. Yeah, but I've been listening to chance who show me that I could be dope, real raw, independent. Shut it down if I ever get a chance to. Let me be great. I'm just over here growing, just making my way. Everything that I say is my life and I'm living today. Cause tomorrow all of it could change, but my truth it will always remain. And my love is the same and my life is still golden. The goodness I hold in and release the pain. So no hard feelings to the haters. This life is beautiful, wish you the same. I said let me be great. Let them talk, you just walk it out. Yeah, you know what it's all about. People get envious, don't look within. Greatness within me, I'll never pretend to be anything less than the all that I am. Majestic and royal, they call me the queen. One of one, there is none other like me. No arrogance, I just know I'm supreme. So let me be great. Yeah, life is for living, so this means we all make mistakes. Lessons are blessings, not final, not fate. They put the plate down and you leave the table if what they are serving ain't fit for your taste. Yo, yeah, I don't care who made it or how long it took to make. If it ain't good for your soul, leave that shit on the table to ride on the tray. Be great. I'm just over here growing, just making my way. Everything that I say is my life and I'm living today. Cause tomorrow all of it could change, but my truth it will always remain. And my love is the same and my life is still golden. The goodness I hold in and release the pain. So no hard feelings to the haters. This life is beautiful, wish you the same. I said let me be great.
Hey, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-822-5467. Happy Friday to you. We got comedian Lavluv coming up in about 30 minutes. All right. Stay tuned for that. That should be good. It's been good all the way around, man. We talking about the sports. I'm about to get into some college football here in a second. So we got a lot going on, man. I just thought about this, man. If you're an up-and-coming artist like Dynasty and you know you got some good stuff, and you want us to promote you on the Doug Stewart Show, especially on YouTube Friday and Facebook Live Friday, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We can feature you just like we featured Dynasty today. All right, I'm telling you. And a lot of people checking this out. A lot of you are sharing it, so a lot of people are going to watch this. People will watch the replay of the show probably for like 6 or 7 days. So you'll get a lot of value if you promote your band or your group with us on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, keep that in mind. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. All right, so let me run through let me run through the 4 biggest games in college football this week. I got a little surprise from my alma mater, South Carolina State University, who we got our ass kicked last night by North Carolina Central. Yeah. On national TV, man, we played North Carolina Central on, what was it, ESPNU. My South Carolina State Bulldogs, man, and we were up by like 21-7. Then we somehow found a way to lose the damn game after all. But anyway, man, it don't matter. Let's talk a little bit of college football with the Marching 101, shawty. Yes, sir. Yeah. The number 1 band in the world, the Marching 101. That's what you hear in the background. Yeah. All right, so the 4 biggest games in college football this weekend, man. Game number 4. How about Oklahoma State? Number 16 team in the country taking on TCU for a big battle in the Big 12. That's right, Saturday meeting at Boone Pickens Stadium for one of just 2 weekend matchups pairing top 25 teams. Not a lot going on this weekend as far as college football and big-time matchups, so you do have TCU and Oklahoma State, all right? The number 6 Cowboys against the number 16 Horned Frogs in the conference opener for both squads. The Cowboys haven't been in a good game yet, outscoring their opponents 162-52 while emptying the bench each weekend. Quarterback Mason Rudolph, I've been telling y'all about this guy, man, has been balling out of control. He hadn't played in the 4th quarter yet, and he ranks 4th nationally in passing yards per game with 387 yards per balling, and 2nd in touchdown passes with 11. TCU comes off a 56-36 win over SMU at just the right time, heading confidently into a matchup with the explosive Cowboys that may require a shootout for the Frogs to win. So there is the game 1, or game number 4 in my list of top 4 games this weekend, where you've got TCU taking on Ohio State. Yeah. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Yeah. Don't forget, TCU's got quarterback Kenny Thrill Hill, who transferred from Texas A&M to TCU a while back, and he's at the helm right now for the Horned Frogs. He's completing 75% of his passes and 8 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, so he's playing great. Oklahoma State favored by 13 in this one. Game number 3 in my 4 biggest games this weekend in college football is the Mississippi State Bulldogs versus the Georgia Bulldogs, shawty. Yeah. Yeah, both sets of Bulldogs. That's right. Both sets of Bulldogs in a play at Stanford Stadium with 3-0 marks, with Mississippi State ranked 17th and 1-0 in the SEC after last week's 37-7 rout of LSU. Number 11, Georgia will be playing its SEC opener. Mississippi State coach Dan Mullen seems to always find really good dual threat quarterbacks. Y'all know that, especially those guys that can run the ball and pass. Once again, he's known for developing those types of guys, and he's got a good one right now in Nick Fitzgerald. That's right. He leads an offense that has outscored his opponents 143-28, completing 43 of 70 passes for 543 yards and 7 touchdowns, while rushing for 240 yards and 5 scores as well. All right, the Bulldogs are allowing 14.3 points per game and an average of just 71 yards on the ground. Defensive tackle Trenton Thompson is a force in the middle of the line, with outside linebacker Lorenzo Carter, who has 3 sacks, and middle linebacker Roquan Smith, a team-high 19 tackles, being key playmakers. So offensively, Georgia's true freshman quarterback Jake Fromm is expected to start for the 3rd time in a row after Jacob Eason is still out with an injury. So you got the Georgia Bulldogs, ESPN, 7 p.m. Eastern time, hosting the Mississippi State Bulldogs in Athens. The Georgia Bulldogs are a favorite in this game by, I think, 2 points. So there you have it, game number 3 on my list of top 4 games this weekend in college football. All right? Yeah. Game number 2. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Game number 2 and watching the Doug Stewart Show. Game number 2 is the Florida Gators on the road taking on the upstart Kentucky Wildcats. Yeah. I ain't never talked about the Kentucky Wildcat football program. But based on what Kentucky did last week, man, this is a pretty good matchup. The year was 1986, and the Wildcats, then coached by Jerry Claiborne, scored the only touchdown on running back Mark Higgs' short plunge for a 10-3 victory over the Gators. That's right. That's the last time that Kentucky has beaten Florida, way back in 1986. Will it change this weekend? The 20th ranked Gators will be looking to extend their dominance, while the Wildcats 3-0 seek their first win in Lexington since that time. Both teams are coming off significant victories, but few in college football, and we're talking history here, could be considered more dramatic than Florida's 26-20 win over Tennessee last week. Big win for them. Felipe Franks. Yeah. Felipe Franks with the Hail Mary touchdown pass to Tyree Cleveland in the end zone for Florida as they got it done over Tennessee. All right. The Wildcats won last week's league opener against my home state, South Carolina Gamecocks, 23-13 at South Carolina, showing a lot of grit. So big win for them. Any win for Kentucky football is a big win. So this game comes on the SEC Network, 7:30 p.m. Florida, number 20 Florida on the road taking on the University of Kentucky Wildcats. And the biggest game this weekend in college football, I told you there wasn't a lot to choose from, is a Big Ten matchup. That's right. Penn State on the road taking on Iowa. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. This could be big, man. Number 4, Penn State taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 3-0 right now. Iowa will be trying to avenge last season's 41-14 drubbing at Penn State. Heisman Trophy candidates and quarterback Trace McSorley and running back Saquon Barkley are going to be featured. You know that. Barkley is second nationally with 218 all-purpose yardage. McSorley was 18 or 23 with 5 touchdowns last week. The Nittany Lions have only given up 1 touchdown all season long, and they have been playing great. So this is on ABC. This is big boy. This is major network TV. ABC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Penn State, the number 4 team in the country, taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. I cannot wait. That's the number 1 game this weekend in college football. Yeah. Yes, sir. We'll get to some NFL talk here in a second. We still got to do the entertainment report. We kind of talk about some celebrity birthdays as well as an entertainment story or two. And we're going to talk to my man Lavluv. But there you have it, man. The 4 biggest games this weekend in the world of college football. Penn State taking on Iowa. Florida taking on Kentucky. Mississippi State taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. And lastly, man, you've got the TCU Horned Frogs taking on Oklahoma State. 4 biggest games in college football this weekend. So says me. So says me. Yeah. All right. When we get back from the break, we're going to take a quick little break right here. When we get back from the break, man, it will be the middle of the hour. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Let's get into that football talk, NFL style, though. All right, we'll do that. We'll get you set for my man Lavluv at the bottom of the hour. We still got to give out this bust of the week. A lot of stuff to do. We're going to get to it. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah!
Hear me is live, too, if you want to hear the beat. Yeah. Yeah. Make a way.
OP Super.
OP Super, what up? Yeah. Make a way, right? Yeah. D-Y. Just out here trying to make it happen, y'all. Listen.
Yo, I found God in within myself and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. She is within me. I keep her near me. God is within you, so I forgive you. Yeah, it's that simple. Love is my religion. This music thing is my pulpit. Love all of my enemies. Forgive all of you culprits. But don't sleep on me because of my spirituality. Queensbred goddess with a spirit of duality. In other words, you don't want these problems because I'm sweet, but I pack heat. Tongue is a sword. It can cut you or save you. Loyal to a T, I will never betray you. But please know, if you play me, then you play you. And God don't like ugly. So if you strike me, you get struck cause you struck me. I am not lucky, I'm blessed and protected. So bad vibes, I check it, neglected. So you should just love me cause your God is good, right? Got a house on every corner in the hood, right? And grandma said her prayers for her little girl every single night so that I could grow up and live a good life. Granddaddy left, she said, God make a way. My mama got sick, she said, God make a way. And she made a way while she waited. And I saw God in my grandma, yeah, I saw her make it. So I don't judge nobody for the way they worship. God, Yahweh, Jehovah, take me to your churches. Take me to your mosque and my welcome in your synagogue. Walk me through your temple. If it's love, then it's simple. Believe what you want. If you love me, I love you. If you think God is within or above you, take nothing from you. I know who I am, I'm celestial. Only wish nothing but the best for you.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the show. We're a little bit early, but it's all good. Hey, the number to the show is 404-822-5467. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. You're still here in the background. Recording artist, hip-hop artist, Dynasty. Go to yourgirldy.com, YAGIRLDY.com, and cop her latest album. I did say album, not download, not CD, not cassette tape. Album, Wax. It's a collector's item, man. She'll actually sign it for you if you tell her that you heard about it through the Doug Stewart Show. So that was great stuff. So I want to get into this NFL talk here. Shouts out to South Carolina State University for the band track. Marching 101, the best band in the land. Yeah. So shouts out to them, man, even though we lost last night. It wasn't y'all fault, though. It wasn't y'all fault. Welcome back to the show. Shouts out to Tiffany Hill, man. Tiffany Hill donated to the Doug Stewart Show, contributed to the show, man. We really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, y'all have no idea how nice of a white man Rob Hicks is up there in D.C. Donating his time, man, so we can get this thing off the ground. I mean, I'm going to compensate him some type of way here in a second. But I mean, he has basically contributed his time right now for free. And I know he's looking at me right now. Cross-eyed. I see him right now. But, man, I appreciate it, Rob. I mean, you are in the annals of one of the greatest white men in the history of the world. Like, you compared to the nature boy Ric Flair, I mean, you're right in the same conversation with the Fonz from Happy Days. Yeah, you're in that conversation, man. So I appreciate him, and if we want to keep this going, we gotta, fess up some type of way, man, and pay this man something. I told him, listen, man, when we first talked the first time, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I was like, look at, man, I want to do this, but if you talk about me sending you some money, man, I ain't got it. Now, the word I ain't is basically South Carolina for I ain't or I do not have. I was like, bro, I ain't got it. I mean, just roll with me and we can flip this thing. You know what I'm saying? We can parlay this thing into something big. Just roll with me for a minute. And he obliged, man. And it's been phenomenal, man. This is our third episode, man. And at least I can send him a gift certificate or something. Shit. Yeah. Maybe I can send him a gift certificate or something like that, man. So all your contributions, man, are welcome, man. We appreciate it. We are doing big things here on the Doug Stewart Show, and we want to continue them even in a bigger and better way. Let's talk a little bit of NFL. Yes, sir. Cue cheesy Monday Night Football music from back in the day. Yeah. So listen, we have 4 games that I want to mention as far as being the 4 biggest games in the NFL coming up this weekend. Number 1, game number 4, actually, as far as which one I like the best, is the New York Football Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants right now are 0-2, and the Eagles right now are 1-1. That's right. After splitting their first 2 games in the row, the Philadelphia Eagles will open their home schedule Sunday afternoon at Lincoln Financial Field against the desperate New York Giants, who dropped their first 2 games. The Eagles, coming off a 7-9 season, opened the season with a victory in Washington before falling 27-20 last Sunday at Kansas City. Philadelphia finished 6-2 at home last season and could improve to 2-0 in the NFC East with a win against the Giants. Eli Manning completed 22 of 32 passes for 300 or 239 yards and 1 touchdown. And the offense looked real bad last week as well. So that's game number 4, Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Game number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road taking on the Minnesota Vikings. There's still no Sam Bradford for the Vikings, who's still out with injury. Case Keenum is going to be the starter for the Vikings this weekend. Keenum has beaten Tampa Bay each of the last 2 seasons while playing for the Rams, though. So there's that little fact in there that you have to keep in mind. New Orleans Saints Sam Bradford sustained that knee injury and couldn't play in a loss at Pittsburgh last week. So once again, it is Case Keenum who completed 20 of 37 passes for 167 yards in his place, still in a loss. Bradford or Keenum will face a Tampa Bay defense that forced 4 turnovers in a 29-7 victory over the Chicago Bears last week in their first game out. So game number 3 on my list of the 4 biggest games this weekend in the NFL is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road taking on the Minnesota Vikings. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. We'll see what Jameis Winston does in his second game out. Right, so we'll get to see what Jameis Winston does in his second game out, as well as Dalvin Cook, who kind of up and down. First game balled out of control. Last week, not so much. All right, so that's game number 3. Game number 2 on my list of the 4 biggest games this weekend in the NFL is, talked about this earlier with my man Rico Beard, the Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the Detroit Lions. 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. Matt Stafford has thrown 6 touchdown passes, tying him for the league lead with Denver's Trevor Siemian. Exactly. Imagine, of all people, Detroit's defense has been just as productive in victories over Arizona and New York. You know what it is. Matt Ryan has completed 69% of his passes and thrown 2 touchdowns, as well as lead back Devontae Freeman has scored 3 times while averaging 3.9 yards per carry. And Mohamed Sanu and Julio Jones have been doing this thing thus far for the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons will not have Vic Beasley. That's not a good thing, who last week pulled his hamstring. They're saying he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So defensive lineman Courtney Upshaw is out as well. So the Falcons kind of hobbled on the defensive side of the ball, but they do have some other great guys, and Tack McKinley, who they just drafted this year out of UCLA, in their stead. All right, so that's game number 2 this week. It is Falcons on the road taking on the Lions. And the biggest game this weekend in the NFL, so says me, your boy Doug Stewart, is the Oakland Raiders on the road taking on the Washington, D.C. football team. Yeah. And if you're new to the show, and you are watching the Doug Stewart Show, if you're new to the show, I'm trying to make it a habit not to say the Washington negative term describing Native Americans. I'm just using the Washington, D.C. football team. So the Oakland Raiders are on the road taking on the Washington, D.C. football team once again. They're trying to improve to 3-0 in front of a national televised audience. This is the 8:30 game on Sunday night on NBC. 8:30 p.m. kickoff once again. After scoring a league-high 71 points in his wins over Tennessee and New York, the Jets, Oakland travels to Washington in a Week 3 Sunday night matchup. Washington, after losing to the Eagles at home in Week 1, calmed nerves in the nation's capital a bit when they went out to the West Coast and defeated the Rams. Rams, by the way, I didn't mention this at all in today's show. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The Rams and 49ers game last night was pretty entertaining. I'm shocked. I'm shocked just as much as you. To quote the great Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, pretty entertaining game last night. Right. And I guess the studio audience is booing because we've been crapping on the 49ers and the Rams all year long, and all offseason long. And the quarterback play out of both those teams, Brian Hoyer and Jared Goff and those guys. But last night, that game was pretty fun. And I guess it's fun whenever they score a lot of points, and a lot of points were scored last night. But anyway, quarterback Kirk Cousins was average in last week's game. He went 18 for 27 for 179 yards and 1 touchdown. But he was 3 for 3 on what proved to be the game-winning drive, including a 23-yard completion to Terrell Pryor and an 11-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Grant. Not that Ryan Grant from the from the Green Bay Packers, but another Ryan Grant. Against the Jets, Oakland rushed for 180 yards, and Derek Carr was 23 of 28 for 230 yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. So, big game this weekend. The biggest game this weekend, the Washington Redskins, or the Washington football DC football team, is a 3-point underdog. And so that's the biggest game this weekend, man. And if you're new to the show, at the start of the season, I picked the Raiders and the Falcons to play in the Super Bowl. And thus far, I am looking peachy keen. As both teams are undefeated. Yeah. As both teams are undefeated, the Raiders and the Falcons, and I like both of those teams to win this weekend as well. Give me the Falcons against the Lions, and give me the Raiders, even on the road from West Coast to East Coast. You know, they always talk about the success of teams on that West Coast to East Coast trip, and how it's tough on them and wear and tear and you know, their wind. But give me the Raiders on the road against the Washington DC football team. All right, 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Coming up in about 7 minutes. We're going to go to a break here in a couple of minutes. When we come back from the break, though, we're going to talk to comedian Lavluv here on the Doug Stewart Show and see what he's got going on. I talked to him earlier this week. I actually know Lav personally. We actually used to play golf together. We hadn't played in a while, probably because both of us suck. But me and Lav go way back, him doing stuff for the 2 Live Stews back in the day. Real cool dude, man. When I talked to him earlier this week, he was in New York City with the family. So evidently he's doing pretty good that he can take the family to New York City for a couple of days. They were staying in Times Square. And for a comedian that gets paid from week to week based on their performance, that's pretty damn good. That's what I thought. And so we're going to talk to Lav and catch up with him and find out what he's got going on this funny Friday aspect of the Doug Stewart Show. Let me jump in the chat room on the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube and on Facebook. Anthony Massa says, happy anniversary, Dre. Shouts out to Dre on your anniversary. We still got to do birthdays and stuff. Happy anniversary from Andre E. Trying to use aliases. From Warren Knicks fan, he says, Doug, congrats to white folk being awkward. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? From, who do we have here in the chat? From, who do we see? From Lorenzo Ketchen. He says, the white man helping too. Well done, sir. Yes, once again, shouts out to the captain, Rob Hicks. Trust me. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him. So, babe, show a little bit of love. We still got to give out the Buster Award for the week. We call it the Boy Penis Award. There he is. We call it the Boy Penis Award. We got to give that out later on, and there's a lot going on. I'm just looking at this video that Rob just posted up just now. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I keep telling y'all this. This ain't no little like elementary type thing that we're doing here. This is a big, big venture. Okay. All right. We got Ball Penis up on the screen here on YouTube and Facebook. Your nominees, Albert Hainsworth, Kevin Durant, Adelaide Bird, the referee or the scorer, and the Canelo Triple G fight, as well as LA football fans. They've all been nominated for the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. So we got that coming up a little bit later in today's show as well. We're going to take this quick little break. When we get back from the break, we're going to have my man Lav on, all right? Continue with this theme on this funny Friday, all right? Yeah! Feeling fine, feeling good. How about you? Having a great time on this Friday. We getting you set for the weekend, baby. That's right. The Doug Stewart Show. Sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. None of that Tabasco shit. Even though I do like Tabasco, just not as much as Texas Pete. That's neither here nor there. I think that's too much information. We're going to go to this break. We'll be back with Lav. Don't go away.
Press rewind, man.
I just wanna live, but how do you live when it's hard to forgive? Hard to forgive, but I gotta let go. And so I let it go, cause it's good for my soul. Soul is eternal, so I'm on the right road. And on the right road, I'll get where I need to be. And where I need to be is the place where you love. And the place where you love is the place you forgive. And once you forgive, you will learn how to live. How can a daddy walk away from his daughter? Fending for myself, trying to put it all in order. Thank God I was like one of the boys, so I learned them. Still couldn't spare me from the hurting. Now I got this curtain, keeping everyone away. Everybody knows D.Y., but Diana stays in my own world. Cause I remember the girl who adored you. So all through my critical years, I waited for you. 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th. By the time I got to high school, I was tired of the wait. Tried to understand so I could stop being mad. Crazy jealous of the other little girls who had a dad. Now I'm dealing with these issues, trying not to show them. Only trust the dude just as far as I could throw him. And even if he good, I could barely get to know him. Cause I'm worried about him leaving in the middle of us growing. And so I stay asking, where you going, where you been? Like everybody's really out to hurt me in the end. I'm staying to myself, I can hardly keep a friend. Cause I didn't have the one who should've loved me till the end. And now I'm full grown and you tell me I got a brother who spent his whole life with a father and a mother. So now I'm sitting here trying to let go and live. Cause I really wanna love you, but it's hard to forgive and live. But how do you live when it's hard to forgive? Hard to forgive, but I gotta let go. And so I let it go, cause it's good for my soul. Soul is eternal, so I'm on the right road. And on the right road, I'll get where I need to be. And where I need to be is the place where you love. And the place where you love is the place you forgive. And once you forgive, you will learn how to live. Be strong, gotta move on. Use the doubt self, it's me, I gotta prove wrong. But you don't know just how much it'll hurt you till you sitting in the living room crying over commercials. And even though I had a decent home life, I can see how it affects me in my grown life. No daddy-daughter dances meant scared to take chances. In and out of love, in and out of romances. Few examples of doing the right thing, of how it's supposed to go and the way it's supposed to be. But I can't blame you, wouldn't even change you.
Rice.
Loyalty these days is just so hard to find.
Rice.
I remember
Rice. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You're watching the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube and Facebook Live. Trying to get my man Lavluv set up here in a second. So, hitting the road this weekend. Headed to the big city of Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Don't you dare mock my hometown. That's right. So they have this annual Hall of Fame weekend at my high school. And my brother, as if you heard yesterday, is He was inducted into the inaugural class of the Berkeley High School Sports Hall of Fame. And so he's actually already down there. We're set to play some golf tomorrow with one of our homeboys, a couple of our homeboys. And so it's going to be a good weekend. I always love going to the crib. If you're new to the show, I'm from the low country of South Carolina, a town called Moncks Corner, which is right outside of Charleston. And so I'm headed home today and looking forward to hanging out with my peoples. If you're watching the show right now, I'll meet you at Applebee's. Yes, that's where we hang out, Applebee's. Just like 25 years ago, we hung out at McDonald's on Friday night. Yeah, just like we did. I'm sure if you're from a small town, you can relate. But yeah, headed to the crib this weekend, man. Been a phenomenal week of the Doug Stewart Show, and it's going to continue being phenomenal. As right now, joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, comedian extraordinaire, Lavluv.
What's going on, Doug?
What up, baby?
What's going on? How you doing?
Yeah. How you doing, man? So I mentioned, speaking of golf, I just talked about me playing golf this weekend with my brother. I mentioned how back in the day, me and you used to play or try to play golf a little bit. We ain't played in some years, bruh.
Man, if I try to hit a golf ball right now, I'm probably going to kill somebody. So I'm trying not to get an assault charge. But I ain't picked up the club seriously in a long time.
Wow. I haven't, I don't play as much as I used to. Like, I used to play a lot. When sugar was falling from the sky for the 2 Live Stews back in the day, I used to play, no lie, I used to play probably 3 times a week. I used to hit balls pretty much every day, but I hadn't been able to do that because I ain't got it like that no more.
Yeah, same thing. I used to about 3 days a week now, maybe 3 times a year.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Talking to comedian Lavluv on the Doug Stewart Show here on the DougStewartShow.com and the 2 Live Stews Radio Network as well. What you been up to? I talked to you earlier this week. You were in New York City with the family. Things must be good for you.
Hey, man, I can't complain. First, let me say congratulations. I see you got your little fake late night TV show background. See that right there. I want to commend you on at least trying to trick people into thinking you got a city behind you or something. I applaud the effort.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. You don't believe I'm on the 25th floor of the Sears building right now in downtown Atlanta? You don't believe that? You don't believe that I'm looking down? It's nighttime. You don't believe that? What?
Man, is that even Atlanta? I don't even think that's Atlanta.
I think that's Memphis, bruh.
Let me find out that's downtown Macon or something. You got a picture of downtown Macon behind you, Doug. Come on, Doug.
We are talking to Lavluv right now on the Doug Stewart Show. Man, you got to believe that's Atlanta, bruh. And I'm actually at the top of one of the skyscrapers downtown, and I'm just giving the people that are watching the show a view of the city, of my background.
Hey, man, whatever help you sleep at night, roll with that. Go ahead. Roll with that.
So how was the trip this past week? You were in New York City for a couple of days.
Yo, New York is New York. We had a good time in New York. We stayed right at Manhattan. So it's cool to be in Manhattan, walk right out the hotel room and be in the midst of everything. So that was good. Now, Manhattan's a little expensive, so I'm not going to be able to play. The mortgage is going to be a little late this month. It's going to be a little late this month, but we had a good time, though.
Right.
Black folk, we do Lambo finances,
Right. Hey, so that's a good thing, man. So you can stay in Times Square in any regard. That's a good thing. I mean, usually, black folks have to end up staying at their cousin house in the Bronx or something like that.
We was at the motel. Now, that's with the family. Now, if I went, I'm going to get that $10 a night hotel room.
Right.
Where you got to sleep like this with your eyes still open. But with the family, you got to do a little bit more for the family. You can't put them in the murder, death, kill in like we'll stay in,
Right. We're talking to comedian Lavluv right now on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so you've been busy, man. Where have you been recently with your stand-up comedy routines, and what you got coming up?
I was recently in LA, right outside LA in Ontario, California. It's like a suburb of LA. I was at the Improv in Ontario. I had a great time. It was fun. The next week I'll be in Greenville. I'm on tour with Corey Holcomb, so that keeps me like super busy.
Okay, so you gotta help me. You gotta help me get Corey Holcomb on the show next, maybe.
I can do that. I can do that. That's easy. That's
actually,
a phone call.
And it's not a cold call type thing. He actually came in studio with us back in the day when we were doing the stew. So good brother, good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he'll do it all day long. So that's like I said, that's easy right there. Consider that done.
Right. They're talking to comedian Lavluv right now on the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Quick thoughts about the Atlanta Falcons, man. They're 2-0 right now. Head to Detroit. Let me get your reaction. I haven't talked to you since. What happened in the Super Bowl? What were you doing after the Super Bowl debacle? Just describe the scene for my listeners. You're from Atlanta?
Yes.
You are from Atlanta. Tell me the reaction and your thoughts after that debacle in the Super Bowl this past January.
All right, you see that building right there behind you?
Right.
I was standing on top of one of those, leaning heavily towards the edge of the
Wow.
Man, let me tell you, man, I was destroyed. That's the first football game I have ever literally lost sleep over. I literally did not sleep well the night after that loss, man. It bothered me like that because we had a ring, man.
25-point lead.
We had a ring, man. It was right. Let me tell you, Doug, I was so excited after the first half. I was on Amazon looking for championship ring replicas to order myself. I was gonna be walking around lying to people, telling people I was on the team. I just ain't started.
Right. You played defensive back. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, I played D-back. I was a defensive back. I was on the squad. You ain't see me, but I was there.
Wow. There. That still hurts, man. It still hurts. Man, and I'm not from Atlanta. I can only imagine somebody being from here, going through all of the tough times with the organization, with the team, man, and having to slip away like that.
Hey, man, let me tell you, my feelings was hurt. I was mad like I was on the team for real. I was mad like I was on the team for real. I was getting press conferences and everything. Like, well, yeah, we tried to get, we played a good game, but it just didn't come together for us. But this is the type of thing bring teams together. This is what I was like, I was on the team. I was hurt like I was on the team.
Wow.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad.
All right, man. So I've seen you several times doing your stand-up, and we are talking to comedian Lavluv on the Doug Stewart Show. I've seen your show, and I've seen you perform several times, man. Real funny dude. Hopefully continue success for you. What are you talking about right now? Like when you hit the stage, like what are people laughing at right now from Lavluv?
I'm talking about getting older, man, because, we getting older. You see a little gray in your beard, a little gray in mine?
Yeah.
Talking about getting older. You know how now, remember once upon a time, like you can go to sleep perfectly healthy.
Right.
But now you wake up, you be messed up. There's always be something wrong. Like you ever go to sleep, Doug, and you wake up and the whole left side of your body numb? That ever happened to you? Now you walk around praying because then you had a stroke in your sleep. That's when you get real religion in. Like,
right.
You can just put your hand on me and let your will be done. So just getting older. Like, one of the things I tell people, you starting to get older when you start to appreciate a nap. When you start to appreciate a nap.
You're right.
No matter what's going on in your life, you feel a little bit better when you wake up from a nap. You feel like everything gonna be okay.
Right. You know how they say, man, you kind of start off as a baby, then you get old, then you kind of revert back to being a baby. And literally, like when I was in kindergarten, I look forward to that nap, in the middle of the day, and I look forward to a nap now. You're right.
You do. You was young. Like a Friday come along, the boss let you off early. All the young people are, oh, let's go out. We can go to happy hour. Now you're like, man, I'm going to go ahead and set it down.
Oh, my gosh. You're right.
I'm going to set it down. Then the young people, you getting older. Now the young people make fun of you. Like, oh, you going to take a nap. Right? You're like, nah, man, I'm going to sleep for the night. How about that? Sleep for the night.
Wow. All right. So when's the next time folks can see you in ATL, man? We got to cut.
And it's gonna be a minute for him in the ATL, but just look up if they follow me on social media, comedian Lavluv. Lavluv is Lavluv. If you follow me on social media, I typically like the in-town stuff is last minute stuff. So follow me on social media, and I always put the last minute stuff on.
Okay, so on Twitter, it's comedian Lavluv.
Yes.
And you're on Facebook. Well, I guess they can just look up Lavluv, Lavluv.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. And you on Instagram too?
I'm on Instagram too. Comedian Lavluv1. It's comedian Lavluv1 because I forgot the password to the person. But listen, don't judge me. Don't judge me.
That's what's up, man. Hey, Lav, man, I appreciate it, brother, man. Good luck to you. I'll talk you down the road. We might need to get out there and try to hack around and play a round of golf or so.
That'll work. I'm gonna order a bag of like 70 balls for $12 on Amazon, so we got enough to finish. I got you.
There he is, comedian Lavluv. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so that was good. That was good. Dude is real funny. I should have had him tell y'all the story on his name, Lavluv. His name is actually Lavender or Leviticus or something like that. I don't know. But real good dude, man. Thank you for coming on, comedian Lavluv. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll take any of your phone calls. We'll also read some messages in the chat and start to wind down this show, man. And get out of here and get you set for the weekend, all right? Back in 3 minutes. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, we still got to give away them boiled peanuts, all right? That's a first. That's a must. Stay right there. Don't go away.
Always ready to bounce. Never.
In a matter of a moment lost till the end of time. It's the evening of another day and the end of mine.
Major production.
It's your girl D.Y. Yeah, I know that life get crazy sometimes, but listen, it's alright. Yeah. Alright. Life's tough, got scars, crying out, oh my God, been there. Got the t-shirt and the postcard. Been through so much, but I come so far. Call home, told me time's hard on the boulevard. Growing up, life sucks sometimes. Suck it up, keep moving, scared to look like you ain't tough enough. Everybody wants something, if you got it, give it up. While they trying to take mine, I'm just trying to live it up. But listen, it's a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. I heard somebody tell me that I'll be a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. Just a matter of time before you go and shine. No matter what you do, keep your head to the sky. It's what they told me. Yeah. You'll be a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. Bills continue to pile up. New day, old dollar. One stack bigger, it's enough to make you wanna holler. Trying to sort it out, pick and choose the way you wanna follow. Go after your dreams of the 9 to 5, so hollow. Head hurts behind starch shirts. Keep your back straight. Shake hands with a firm grip, cause you lack faith in your own ability. 9 to 5 killing me. If you got passion, and I know that you feeling me. But listen, it's a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. I said somebody told me that I'll be a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. Just a matter of time before you go and shine. No matter what you do, keep your head to the sky. I said they told me, yeah. You'll be a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. If you love them, let them know. If it hurts, let it go. Walk around with painful blown, but they would never know. Some people don't let it show. I wear it on my face. Always kept my bags packed, looking for a better place. Till I got tired and inspired at the same time. Good life, claim mine. Working with a change mind. Everything I've been through made me who I am. So I'm proud of where I stand. For nothing, I wouldn't change my life. Yeah. It's a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. I heard somebody tell me that I'll be a rap, and a rap, and a rap, and a rap. Just a matter of time before you go and shine. No matter what you do, keep your head to the sky. Yeah, that's what they told me. Yeah, you'll be a rap, and a rap, that's right. And a rap, and a rap.
goes like this. I know I told you before, I never leave this. You and me together, better believe this. You and me forever, they never seen such beauty. You want my love, I mean truly. You decided to choose me from everyone on this earth. You determine my worth, see what I mean is.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Phenomenal day, if I must say so myself. Shouts out to Rico Beard. Artist Dynasty, you hear in the background right now. And comedian Lavluv, man, as well as we talked about, I guess, the top sports stories of the day. And got you set a little bit with some college football and some NFL. But it is that time of the week. It is that time of the week. It is that time of the week where we have to give out boiled peanuts. Yeah, dog. Peanuts taste better boiled.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to begin our study of the male erection. We are adults. Now, I want everybody together to go ahead and say, penis, penis, penis.
Penis tastes better. Penis tastes better. Penis tastes better boiled.
Come on, y'all, say it.
No, man. Peanuts. I'm trying to say it as slow as I can. Peanuts. 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 Y'all know what the hell I was saying.
Come on, y'all, say it.
All right, so it's that time of the week. It's the time of the week where we give out boiled peanuts. I just to give you a little background. We got new listeners, new people watching the show for the first time ever. To make a long story short, I mentioned something about boiled peanuts being a delicacy in the state of South Carolina. And for whatever reason, my Geechee accent, I'm from the low country. Once again, if you talk to anybody from there, you'll understand what I'm saying. We got an island type dialect. And when I mentioned it, I kept saying boiled peanuts, and everybody kept saying, why are you talking about boiling some man's penis? No, man, that's not what I was saying. No, man, that's not what I was saying. I was talking about boiled peanuts, and so somebody came up with the bright idea to give the award for the Buster of the Week in Sports Entertainment Beyond, the title of boiled peanuts. Thus, you have it. All right. If you were asking, that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. All right. So here are your nominees. Your nominees were Kevin Durant for acting like a little girl. There's no other way to say it, man. And being sensitive about what people are saying about him and him going to Golden State, which I just don't understand. I guess it's the new generation. So he's been nominated. Albert Hainsworth for letting his girlfriend, is it his girlfriend or his wife? I think it might be his wife. She actually played basketball at the University of Tennessee under Pat Summitt back in the day. So she ain't no little chick. It's a big old heifer. Right. She like 6'3" or something like that, man. Big old corn-fed white chick. And so Albert Hainsworth said that his wife beat him up and called him racial epithets and whatnot. Bad look. He's in a sunken place. Clearly, somebody got a cup of tea and stirred it. The fight judge, Adelaide Bird, was nominated for some boiled peanuts because of her 118-110 score in the Canelo Triple G fight. So she was nominated. And lastly, LA football fans were nominated for boiled peanuts for not showing up to the damn games. They got 2 new teams and nobody wants to watch them. And the Rams actually are a lot better than I thought they would be. And probably most of y'all thought they would be as well. The Rams are 2-1 right now. I think the Chargers are 0-2, but the Rams are like 2-1. That game last night was pretty entertaining. They put up a lot of points, man, and made a lot of plays on defense. as well. So, but they're nominated, man. I just don't get it. That's why they didn't have football in LA for so many years, because those fans out there are fickle. And don't tell me, well, they don't want to support the NFL teams that are bad. They're football fans, but they only support USC. That's BS. All right. If you go and support the Trojans, you should be able to want to go and see a superior product in truth and professionals. So I just don't get that at all, but they were nominated. So this week's Busted of the Week, so says y'all, we actually have a poll on the Two Live Shoes Radio Facebook chat group. So says you, this week's Ball Penis Award winner / loser is... I'm going to do it one more time. I just like doing that. Hold on. I do. I like doing the drum roll thing. I do. I got to be honest with you. This week's Ball Penis Award winner / loser is... in a landslide, Kevin Durant. Um, 37% of the vote went to Kevin Durant. He was followed up by Albert Hainsworth with 28%. Coming in third place was the fight judge Adelaide Bird with 21%, and LA football fans with 12.5%. Hey, listen, if you're not part of the Two Live Stews Facebook radio chat group, go and join. You have to ask permission, and we'll let you in. It's kind of like the show after the show. We have a great time. So go there, man, and ask for permission to join, and continue the sports talk and the guy talk all throughout the day. Hey, listen, tag. Here's what I want you to do. So Rob has this picture of this peanut patch. I want you to tag whoever you thinks should be a Ball Penis recipient, or someone that you feel like deserves to get a Bust of the Week in sports entertainment and beyond. It's actually on the screen right now. That's pretty cool. Rob being from and Rob, jump on for a second here if you can. Are you from the DMV area? You are from the DMV area. And there you go. So you're from the DMV area. You've never had ball peanuts in your life? Never. Any desire to taste the delicacy of boiled peanuts? He says no. You don't know what you're missing, brother. I'm telling you, you do not know what you're missing. Yeah. Hey, man, this show, just like it did the first 2 weeks, just like it does every day, if you're a subscriber, by going to the DougStewartShow.com and clicking on the paying member little tab and becoming a member and paying $4 a month to hear the show every day, unfiltered, untethered, at the DougStewartShow.com. This was a lot of fun, man. Let's do it again next Friday. If you can contribute to the show, we really do appreciate it. There's actually a graphic that Rob's going to pop up there and show you how you can do that, whether it's $5, $10, $20, $50, or once again, maybe you might be an oil baron and you got 50 grand laying around. We'll take it. Right? Asking you shall receive is what they tell you, right? Right? Okay. So if you can find it in your heart, you like this show, you like the realness and the trillness of the show, donate, man, once again, and we really would appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel, actually at 2livestewsradio.com. All right? 2livestewsradio.com is where we do the show from Monday. All right. Pass the word. Here's a big thing. I mentioned this earlier, but I need to remind you again. If you aren't going to donate, that's fine. I understand. We living in a time, shawty. But whatever you do, if you don't do anything else, hit the share button. Hit the share button so everybody else can be in on this fun that we having around here on the Doug Stewart Show, all right? All right. So, like Like they said, and I'm gonna get you sucker. Every great hero has his own theme music. You hear my theme music in the back. My man Pink Gator with this hot ass track. All right, so we'll be back Monday, same Doug Stewart time. Once again at 2liveshoesradio.com. Shouts out to Rob Hicks at the mothership, the captain of the show. Thank you, Rob, for all that you did. Yeah. Shouts out to my secondary producers, Waterhead, Walter, Poe, Politicking, engineers, Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, John G, the web guy, Brandon Butler, the consultant, and a big ups to all of the Stewies, all of the dogs, all of the poodles, anybody tuning into the show. Share the show on YouTube and Facebook. Share the show on Facebook and YouTube. Share the show. Share the show. All right? Y'all be careful this weekend. Peace.
Worldwide. No.
Yo, if you kinda believe even a little bit, give me your faith, let me see what I can do with it. I still believe in romance. I hear that lady from Coming to America saying give her a chance. And if you give me that, I'll give it back to you tenfold. Hard to believe because you've been broke. Trust me, I get it. Yeah, I fully admit it. I remember and I am not asking you to forget it. But if you have one little piece